But I think the development of full artificial intelligence will spell the end of the human race.
It's a flying object, and we don't know what it is. I would hope somebody is checking it out.
It was a rocket or whatever, but incredibly fast, opposite direction. It was too fast to be an airplane.
I'm glad the Pentagon is looking at this, because if it poses a threat, I want them on top of it.
Well, the craft generates its own gravitational field.
You said there's lights in the sky?
The internet has become the command center for criminals and terrorists.
911, what's your emergency? I need help, please help!
Aliens won't let it happen. You know, that's what we're instructed to say.
Roswell, Area 51. Alien kept deep under the ground.
1,
Doesn't have your best interest in mind. The government is self-serving. You're here for a reason. You're listening to Troubled Minds Radio. Broadcasting live from a secret bunker just off the extraterrestrial highway. Somewhere in the desert sands outside of Las Vegas. From somewhere in space-time, loosely labeled Generation X on planet Earth. And asking questions of you in earnest into the digital darkness. Good evening and welcome to Troubled Minds Radio. I'm your host, Michael Strange. We're streaming on YouTube, Rumble, X, Twitch, DLive, and Kick. We are broadcasting live on the Troubled Minds Radio Network. That's KUAP Digital Broadcasting, and of course, 88.4 FM, Auckland, New Zealand. Tonight, well, in case anybody noticed, it's April Fool's. Have you seen the absurdity? Have you seen the inversion? Have you seen the ritual that's been happening all around us all day long? Have you seen the funny ha-has and the people that are so clever because they're usually like this and now they're like that? So funny, so clever. Yes. It's a good thing I cast my protection spell this morning against absurdity. And that's what's on my mind tonight, absurdity. Isn't it odd? So as we begin, as you know, I'm looking for inspiration everywhere all the time. That's really the basis of the show, to be inspired by things, not just good things, sometimes bad things, sometimes the absurd. And of course, today I was bombarded by it, as were you probably, if you were paying any amount of media attention to social media, as you probably shouldn't have today. But all the knucklehead stuff that just kind of rolls out. It's kind of like the dumb jokes that come out, at the end of the year. All right, Mike, see you next year. Happy New Year, or whatever, right? Like, this is the type of stuff that kind of starts clunking out on these days. Everybody just thinks they're so clever, right? They're like staunch defenders of Elon Musk, and suddenly they've changed their mind about the man, or vice versa, or whatever. It's just like, you guys are just so clever. You guys are so on the game. Oh boy, I was fooled by that one. You Elon, a fanboy, now suddenly changed his mind on April 1st. Oh my goodness gracious. What will I ever do with the cleverness? Stop it, people. Anyway, it got me thinking about a lot of things, right? And I have to mention this local radio host. My goodness gracious. He was one of the guys that was doing this, and he just he was taking himself so seriously. He just changed his mind, and he was making the case, and just like bro, what are you doing? Like a clown, it's just the inversion of the same clown he always is. It's just crazy. Anyway, I'm not going to mention the guy's name. He's not worth a mention. But I was thinking about it, right? And when you start to think about these, I'm calling this tonight Echoes of the Fool, initiation through absurdity. And it feels like April Fool's Day in and of itself is exactly that. You know, we talk about Clown World on this show all the time. We've talked about one of the very, very first sort of backbone ideas of building this show was pointing out the absurdities of reality, because they're everywhere. They're literally everywhere. And then we became a little more cosmic, a little more different, a little more, stretching the imagination in some certain ways. But at the core of this, it all remains that there is this actual absurdity of reality that we've all come to accept in some capacity, which drives me nuts. Because again, as I always say, we should demand better, we should expect better, and not just be okay with one day of recognized absurdity, when the truth is the other 364 are equally absurd, just everybody's not trying to be as absurd, right? It's so crazy to me. I'm just like, once again, listening to the partisan hacks go, oh, I've changed my mind about politics today. Like, shut up. Get out of here. You guys are so... Ugh. Anyway, so, okay, this gets deep, all right? This goes even more deep than that, because that's just the cursory level of this that kind of pissed me off about the entire situation here. And if you're into the write-ups, I recommend you read this one. This one is very good. Usually, like I said, they're usually pretty good, but this one tonight is very good. And of course, Echoes of the Fool, Initiation Through Absurdity. I'm going to just read you straight from this thing, because it's better if I read it. I can fumble through it and do like I just did and make fun of people. I don't like to make fun of people. I don't like to be part of Clown World, and I don't like to, just cast mud. It's just... It's so frustrating. Anyway, here we go. Straight from the write-up. Like I said, read along or read ahead of me, please. It links in the description down below. Check it out. It's a fantastic one tonight. Straight from the top. Every year on April 1st, the world agrees, if only for a moment, that truth can be bent, inverted, and laughed at. Corporations fabricate fake products, news outlets publish absurd headlines, and friends stage pranks that teeter between harmless and existential. It's all in good fun, we say. But beneath the surface of April Fool's Day lies something older, stranger, and more profound. A ritual inversion of power and meaning. A sanctioned day where absurdity rules and logic takes a back seat. One day where the world, as we know it, slips its mask. Yes, indeed, right? This isn't a modern invention. It's the echo of a deeper archetype. The fool, who has walked beside kings and emperors, chaos and order, carrying truth in one hand and mischief in the other. The fool isn't simply a clown. He's the one figure in the court who could speak truth without punishment. His role was to subvert, to reveal, to hold a cracked mirror to power and say, look. As we, blah, blah, okay, blah, blah, blah. So, okay, and the question, so what if chaos is part of the curriculum, as part of this larger April Fool's Day, the inversion of this actual ritual itself? What if those who laugh in the face of it aren't lost, but leading? Today we may be a joke on the calendar, but the spirit of April Fools might be whispering something much more serious. The fool is awake, and he might be the only one left who knows what's really going on. And that's the absurdity of today. I'll get into more of this, but basically it brought to mind the archetype of the fool itself. And again, back to what that was saying there, it's incredibly important to remember that the jester of old actually was the only person who could basically insult the king. Because if you insulted the king or royalty back in the day, it was off with your head. Okay, that's how, right, that's how democracy came about. Democracy asterisk. Representative or whatever, where, wherever they call the People's Republic of whatever the hell they call it out there, right? The People's Republic of Democracy. But you get my meaning. Certainly there's places that aren't democracies, including, you might argue, well, old Stars and Stripes. In any case, I digress there. This isn't supposed to be political at all, but listen, now this is nuts. When we actually recognize inversion for what it is and celebrate it even, together, and the belly laughs, and I've sure fooled you that I changed my mind about this, didn't I? Well, the joke is us. We're the joke, because we've become so polarized in caricatures of ourselves that everybody knows what we're thinking, everybody knows what we're about, everybody knows what we stand for through these propagandized aspects. And by us obviously making a ha, we're making fun of ourselves. And everybody laughs, and everybody goes along with it, and you get my meaning. That's where my mind is at tonight. What do you guys know about April Fools? What do you know about the Joker and the archetype of the fool itself? We're going to get into this. It's deep. And like I said, if you're into this idea, please read ahead on the write-up. There's lots of amazing things here. We will be taking your calls tonight if you want to be part of the show. 702-957-1037. Click the Discord link at troubledminds.org. We'll put you on the show that way as well. Hope you guys are doing well tonight. It's like I said, I knew what was coming today. It happens every year. The stuff you just can't take anything seriously because it's Clown World, except it's Clown World recognized, not the other 364 unrecognized Clown World days. How does April Fools make you feel? So we'll leave it there for just a second and get a quick word from our sponsor. In this case, of course, Human Inspiration. And we'll be right back with more Troubled Minds coming up. Absolutely don't go anywhere. This one is bound to curl your toes or maybe make you laugh at me. Anyway, be right back. More Troubled Minds coming up. Don't go anywhere. In a world increasingly shaped by AI, human inspiration remains the beating heart of creativity. Alien Skin by Tremble, a hauntingly beautiful piano ballad, reminds us that while algorithms can mimic art, the raw, unfiltered emotions of human experience are irreplaceable. So here I sit, locked in my room again. Written and composed by Jesse Ian in collaboration with Todd Smith, this progressive masterpiece delves into the depths of internalized grief and the silent toll of artistic compromise. As AI reshapes our reality, Alien Skin stands as a testament to the timeless power of human emotion and the complex beauty that only true artists can evoke. Experience the haunting beauty of Alien Skin by Tremble and support human inspiration. Available now on iTunes. Welcome back to Troubled Minds. I'm Michael Strange. Let us continue, shall we? So weird, right? There's this jester, the whole idea. And you know what's also been in the zeitgeist recently? I saw I watched this, a year ago or 6 months ago or something. I saw it on TV. It was the new Joker, right, with Joaquin Phoenix. And it really is the epitome of this clown world, this absurdity, everything is accelerating, as I keep saying, into not just, let's say, sometimes technological places that might be exciting and leading us to the promised land, however you want to define that. But on the other hand, leading us into more absurd places and situations. Not just, let's say, personally, like I can't really speak to that. I just keep my nose clean, stay out of trouble as much as possible. Don't try and dust it up with people and just be stupid about things. But there's a lot of situations where sometimes you just can't, because society is just becoming more and more stupid. And you know what I mean. I don't mean to insult anybody, but you get what I'm saying. There's a larger context of confusion, of just the notorious idea that the inversion is upon us, and nobody seems to notice. Back to that old George Carlin bit. I always bring this up when we're talking about Clown World, right? Everybody notices. Nobody says a damn thing. What does he say? Everybody seems to notice. Nobody seems to care, I think, is exactly his verbiage there. And this is the truth of this. It's nuts. Okay. Anyway, so back to this. Like I said, the write-up's really good. If you want to dig into that, I would appreciate that, because it is very good. But here's a wild part about this. So as we begin, we're talking about the April Fools, not just, let's say, the ritual and version of this, and even the return of the trickster archetype, because that fits into this in the larger conversation, which we've done multiple shows on in the past. The trickster itself, not just, let's say, as a primordial spirit, but also as that bit of ourselves, the Joker, the fool, the archetype of the fool, and us. Well, I don't know, like, you have to laugh or else you don't survive, right? I mean, that becomes really the thing. So humor's incredibly important. Otherwise, right, if you can't laugh at yourself and you can't laugh at the world, boy, oh boy, what a long existence it will be. However, it seems like that inversion has become more dire. More, if you're not laughing, you're going insane. You see what I'm saying? It's just getting worse and worse. But anyway, so April Fool's, of course, is just the holiday as it is. But if you go back historically, there's the ritual inversions of Saturnalia, there's the Feast of Fools, other medieval festivals that kind of fit into this. And the people have celebrated this for a long time, recognizing full well that humanity itself and society as we know it, with these systems, these larger control mechanisms I'm always talking about, are absurd. backwards, upside down, and inside out. And again, don't get me started on taxes and healthcare, but you get the idea. There's a lot of things you can point out in society and go, well, how come it works this way? Because that doesn't make a damn bit of sense, does it? And the more you ask, the more none of it just makes any sense. You ever had a niece, nephew, kids, whatever, youngsters in your life that would ask you questions like this? You know how little kids are, they get in a particular phase, or 2, 3, 4, they start talking and they start asking you about every damn thing, right? And they ask you questions that kind of catches you off guard sometimes. And you're like, I'm not sure I should answer that one. You should probably go ask your mom or your dad, right? Like you don't want to hear that from me, but you get the meaning. Like suddenly just asking sort of innocuous questions of our society and the things that we've come to accept, asking those questions to ourselves as sort of through the mind of a child, explaining that is the absurd. It is the, what would you call it? Well, anyway, back to the Reddit, because Reddit's very good. So the fool, okay, I read that. Okay, here we go. So the fool, straight from the Reddit, this is very good. The fool wears no crown, yet he may be the only one who understands what it means to rule. He stands at the edge of the cliff, bag over his shoulder, head in the clouds, dog barking at his feet, and still he smiles. Not because he's unaware of danger, but because he's already made peace with the absurdity of the path. In tarot, any tarot readers out there, the fool holds the number 0, not a beginning, not an end, but a placeholder for infinite potential. 0 isn't absence, it's the silent container where everything else can happen. The archetype of the fool has always been misunderstood in this context. In the court, as I said earlier, the jester wore motley and danced like a clown. But he alone could mock the king without losing his head. An interesting thing, huh? Even the king needed a mirror, even a broken mirror turned back toward him sometimes. So in this case, the fool's role was one of inversion. To say what no one else could say, to do what no one else dared. The mask of madness offered cover for dangerous truths. Laughter, of course, was a delivery system. But what passed through it was often prophecy. In this sense, the fool wasn't comic relief. He was a spiritual insurgent. And if anybody wants to say that AI hasn't gotten better, listen to that. Go read that. It's when I was reading it back, I was like, "Ooh, this is giving me chills. This is really good." Anyway, so today, the same dynamic quietly exists in plain sight, as I was describing. Stand-up comics, satirical writers, meme makers, which of course meme magic plays heavily into this. These are the modern jesters. They smuggle truth inside of jokes, bury medicine in absurdity. They occupy a unique liminal space where nothing is sacred and everything is fair game. And yet somehow their irreverence makes them trustworthy in a way institutions no longer are or can be. The fool can say the system is broken because he was never part of it to begin with. And so the question becomes, well, aren't we all the fool? For not just accepting these truths, these things are very self-evident. Like I said, you start asking some very simple childlike questions of the world around us, and things are so backwards and complicated. Well, what do we do? How do you explain things to yourself that make no damn sense? Yeah, it's a weird thing. So the question in this case worth asking is whether this chaos, this rapid breakdown of order, trust, and clarity isn't just some tragic accident of modernity, but a crucible, a stage. What if all this entropy is forcing humanity to finally confront the fact that we don't know what's going on? And maybe we never did. Pattern recognition, which I always talk about, is a survival skill, but it also births myth, art, and meaning. The fool invites us to release the need for linearity, to laugh at the idea that things were ever under control. And of course, you can look at this in terms of politics. You can look at this in terms of the economy. You can look at this in terms of, you name it, what, the education system, you name it, like literally every damn thing, healthcare, taxes, every damn thing. You can just bring this to bear, ask some simple questions of the notion, and then you feel like you're the clown. because sometimes you can't even explain it to yourself. That's how convoluted and upside down and ridiculous this is. And so my question for you guys tonight, what is your favorite clown world aspect? What are some of the things that we recognize the other 364 days a year that should be April Fools every single day? What are some of those systems? What are some of the most ridiculous things that we deal with and say, it's all right because that's the way the system is. It's just the way things are, Mike. Everything is fine. Would you relax? Would you calm down, Mike? Okay, absolutely. So I bring to you tonight myself, the fool. However, recognize the fool archetype itself is sort of like the shaman, able to dance outside of culture and see the absurdity for what it is. So it's weird how some of these things kind of come full circle with the terminologies. Oh, you're such a clown. You see everybody using the clown emojis on the interwebs, right? Calling each other clowns. You're such a clown, Mike. You're such a clown. Yeah, I guess so, right? Maybe. But what about you calling everybody clowns? Is that not the inversion of the exact thing I'm talking about? Yeah. Like I said, you go to any chat out there and everybody's just calling each other names. It's wild. Anyway, so back to this, back to the whole thing. Now, it gets really weird, right? So we did the zero. Okay, so chaos around us. So the question, another question, layers of questions here. Is the chaos around us designed to shake us awake? Not tear us apart. And I think that becomes really the larger context of this, is that all of the absurdity around us is constantly begging to be noticed, begging to be addressed, begging to be changed, reformed, and brought to bear to a point where it serves us, the regular population of the world. And you guys know what that means, the inverted pyramid. We talk about this stuff all the time. And yet, what are we doing? We're cheering on the political team, the orange man. We're cheering against the orange man. The jokes make themselves. Clown world. Like I said, let's not get political, but you understand what I'm saying here. How come we allow all of this? And of course, the main question is, what do we do to change it? And you know me. Clearly, I think the power of the spoken word, the written word, is incredible. It's part of this. It's part of the ideas, the change makers, not just of pushing the envelope of what may come next in the technological sense, or not forgetting the past, but also putting the mirror in front of ourselves in the present and asking why we allow such absurdity. Weird, right? There's a lot to this. Like I said, I invite you to read the write-up. There's a lot there. But why is this happening to us? Let's say not just here. I'm sure it's everywhere. And why do we allow it? That becomes, well, probably the most paramount question. And of course, how do we change it? And if we can't spot it and talk about it together, then we can do none of those things, can we? That's what's on my mind tonight. Anyway, so is there a deeper connection between absurdity itself and some level of power shaking the chaos out and bringing it to bear in a more orderly fashion for the population of the world? That's what's on my mind tonight. Also, how was April Fool's for you? Is this a time of year that you enjoy? I certainly enjoy the spring. Go Diamondbacks. Shout out Fred. Yeah, baseball is a good time of year for me. I really enjoy it. But also recognize what's happening. It's almost as if we've moved into this inversion process of one more ritual clown world day where we all get to be knuckleheads and laugh. And then tomorrow, it's right back to the regular old clown world, just as it always has been. And why exactly do you think that is? It's weird, right? I got some other weird stuff to get into, and that's exactly the point of this. But I also have a banger song for you in just a moment here. But anyway, that is what's on my mind tonight. I hope you guys are doing well. Happy April Fools. I'm hoping we could be the fools together. But not the fool with the clown makeup or the orange face paint. The clown, well, the fool archetype. that's going to shake power from chaos and turn this whole thing around. 702-957-1037. This is Troubled Minds. I'm Michael Strange. Don't go anywhere. More after the break. Love to hear your thoughts on this. Be right back.
Crazy colors swirling, got the laughter in the air. Jesters in the night, they weave magic everywhere. Clowns are juggling dreams, wild world is in despair. Nothing's quite as certain when reality's a game. Chaos in the corner, whispers calling out your name. Look around, it's laughter, even when we're feeling pain. You know what you want me, there'd be nights like this. Nobody want me, there'd be nights like this. Nobody want me, there'd be nights like this. Strange nights I insist, strange nights I insist. Dancing shadows flicker under neon all aglow, while the stage is set for tales that nobody will know. Echoes of the laughter as the lost ones see the show. Life's a playful circus where the chaos takes a bow. Joy and sorrow blending in the rhythm that we vow. Join the ride of madness, it's the only way for love. Nobody want me, there'd be nights like this. Nobody want me, there'd be nights like this. Nobody want me, there'd be nights like this. Strange nights I insist, strange nights I insist. Twists and turns and shadows, laughter in the night. A tapestry of madness, dancing with the light. Fools and fun were woven, chaos in our stride. Embrace the wild, let the laughter be our guide. Nobody want me, there'd be nights like this. Nobody want me, there'd be nights like this. Nobody want me, there'd be nights like this. Strange nights I insist, strange nights I insist. Falling in the rhythms, beats that pound and thrum. A flashing carnival where the misfits come undone. Whirling through the madness with our hearts set to ignite. In the symphony of chaos will remain the shining light. Yeah, nobody want me, there'd be nights like this. Nobody want me, there'd be nights like this. Nobody want me, there'd be nights like this.
Indeed, it does sound. It does. Who said that? Gordo over there on Rumble says, "Kind of sounds like an '80s TV theme song." That's exactly the point. It definitely has that nostalgia aspect to it. What's up, guys? Gaston, we got Joey's here. What's up, Sweets? James, Matzel, Hirsch. We got Sora, Jorge, Dawn, and Daryl. How you guys doing? What's up, doing the thing, hanging out? We got Gordo's here. What's up, YY? Raz. What's happening, Hiker? How are you? Good evening. Who did I miss? Puff is here. Good evening. What's happening, folks? Squigs. Yeah, put a protection spell on all of us, right? Yes, indeed. What's going on, guys? Hope you're well tonight. Just hanging out, doing the thing. What's up? What's up? North Vixen is here. Thanks again for all the retweets, reposts on X. I appreciate that, guys. Sweets, it does that almost every time. I get North Vixen almost every time. You guys are just slaying it. Thank you again for helping out here. What's up? What's up? Who did I miss? If I missed you, just say hi. I'll say hi back. Doing my best to keep up. Celia's here. The unseen Steve McQueen, Mr. Mission Control. We got Fred, Herschel. What's going on, guys? Who did I miss? Let's see. Sweets is here. Good evening. Hello, Sora. What's up? What's up? Hello, hello. We had a new face in. Who is this? Let's see. Oh my goodness, so much going on. Ace, well, welcome back. Ace from Grand Rapids, welcome back. How you doing? Sylvain over on Twitch. What's going on? Matt Sal. Here we go. Troubled Minds happening right now. Get in here if you want to talk about this. Welcome back to Troubled Minds. I'm your host, Michael Strange. We're streaming on YouTube, Rumble, X, Twitch, DLive, and Kick. We are broadcasting live on the Troubled Minds Radio Network. That's KUAP Digital Broadcasting. Tonight, What if the world isn't breaking, but recalibrating through chaos? What if the clowns, the memes, the absurd rituals, and the collapsing trust aren't signs of decay, but signals of a deeper system waking up? Could the fool be more than comic relief? Could he be the architect of what comes next? And that's what's on my mind tonight, boiled down very succinctly, very nicely, again, by AI that's constantly and continually improving as part of these accelerations. I'm always talking about these accelerations. But of course, as these systems tend to accelerate and become better and better, or more, differentiated, and we use them in different ways, and we become smarter humans and can synthesize data faster, we end up in a really weird predicament. And that becomes when culture is so fractured and accelerating. We've talked about this in the past, by the way. How does that reflect on us and how we relate to each other? Because clearly the robot revolution is upon us. I talk about this all the time. What is this, next year? 2 years from now? 3 years from now? It's going to be just like the old days. They laughed, yeah, the car is really nice. It's better than the horses or whatever. And then like 5 years later, everybody had a car, right? I mean, not everybody, but almost everybody. And then 10 years after that, nearly everybody had a car or two. And so this becomes, we're on the cusp of that, except there's no horse in this case. There's no actual horse, meaning that there's nothing that comes before the robot, right? We're the robot. we're the jester. We're the archetype of the fool. It's weird. It's weird. And it's upon us. And so how do we relate to each other in a fractured realm that's accelerating away from us constantly and continually? And of course, we've talked about Neuralink and all this stuff and how you plug it into your head and everything's going to be just fine. What if it isn't? How do we deal with this? And you know me, I'm here doing this because this type of stuff very particularly resonates in a human way. There's a lot of things to be talked about, a lot of things to be considered that is outside the mainstream narratives, off the beaten path. Enter the archetype of the fool. Hi. My name's Michael Strange. In any case, so let's see. Let's read a little bit of this. So I got to, as usual, look, because everything's accelerating, I have not just sort of more scholarly write-up. I have a creative, a scholarly thing, and then I have you guys if you'd like to talk about this. Let me read a little bit of this because maybe this will jog some interest in the idea. So in examining the archetype of the fool across cultural and psychological contexts, a compelling pattern emerges. Far from being merely a character of chaos or comedic relief, the fool appears to function as an embedded evolutionary mechanism within civilizations, a necessary destabilizing force that emerges cyclically when systems become rigid, leadership fails, or societies stagnate. This archetypal figure, with its boundary-crossing behavior and disregard for established norms, may serve the vital function of introducing necessary disorder that ultimately leads to renewal, adaptation, and cultural evolution. The fool's apparent irrationality may, in fact, represent a deeper rationality, one that recognizes when systems require disruption to avoid collapse and facilitate growth. I don't know. What do you guys know about this, the actual fool archetype itself, and how weird does it get? And how do you feel about April Fool's Day? Am I the only one that's a cynic here going, oh man, really this again? Why are we doing this again? Maybe I'm the only one. Maybe I'm not. Oops, that's super loud. Wow, that was really loud. Sorry about that. Got the echo. I thought I turned it off. I turned it off now. But you tell me, this is the whole point of this, is that this holiday, probably chief among them, irks me more than any other. And it is because of the inversion ritual. It is because of the space of us believing that everything's fine until today. You get it? I don't know. What do you think? As usual, I'd love to hear your thoughts because that's what this is about. 702-957-1037. Phone line should be working again. I tried that. So if you guys want to try to fix it, thanks again to Theo for checking it out last time. I don't think it worked, but I think it does work now. Let's go to Daryl in New York. What's going on? Thanks for popping in here. How are you tonight, my friend? And go right ahead.
Hey, there we go. I unmuted. Hello. I hope you can hear me.
Yeah, I can hear you. You're coming through loud and clear. How you doing? Welcome to the joint.
Terrific. I'm reading some of the articles that you posted. They call them tricksters, or the fools, or the these people can be very malevolent and cause a lot of chaos, you know? And then what is the difference between a trickster and a liar, you know? I feel like if we could make everybody that lies, like, you know, give them this, like, you know, spell that they have to go April Fools even when it's not April. You know, they go, oh, safe and effective, April Fools, you know, or, you know, every time they lie, they have to say April Fools. That would be kind of cool, right?
Yeah, I think, except it would make me disillusioned, I guess. But I know exactly what you mean. Maybe, yeah. I don't know. How do you feel about the holiday itself? Is this one you enjoy? You're actually the cosmic comic, so you're actually a funny gal. I was going to say lad. That didn't make any sense.
April Fools. Well, I did have a couple of jokes about April Fools, but they weren't that great. But they're good enough, you know. Maybe I should just get them out of the way. You know why A and C didn't prank their friend?
Not sure.
They just let her be.
Of course.
Okay.
Of course.
They just let her be. Okay. Why shouldn't you plant flowers on April Fool's Day?
Not sure. Haven't heard that one.
Well, you shouldn't when you haven't bought any. Botany? Okay. I told you they weren't good ones. You know. But I don't know. Like, when did this like April Fool's Day? Why is the 1st of April like a day to fool people or to trick people? Actually, this comes from like Norse mythology, Hermes and Greek myths, trickster and stuff. I don't know. It goes back. Well, you know, this reset. You know, the last whatever 4,000 years. I wonder what they had. You know, 30,000 years before.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, I think that, like I'm saying, I think this is an ancient one. It goes back to Saturnalia and again, sort of this inversion ritual. And it's definitely cooked into us. I think that's for sure. But is it again, like one of those ritual aspects where we're not supposed to notice what's actually happening around us? It's like, you know, we can laugh at it for one day and you're allowed to, but then the other 364, this is deadly serious and this is the way we're headed. And you better, you know, get on a team or we're going to come get you, you know? It's a weird thing to me. It's just a weird thing to me. Like I think that's why it always irks me, because I feel like, 364 days a year to me is April Fool's. And then we get to this day and then everybody's just being annoying. And I'm like, why are you being so annoying? But
You're right.
Yeah, you could do this throughout the year. You know, you could be a Michael Strange level fool all year long if you like. So I don't know. It's weird. It's weird. I don't know. Like I said, it's probably different if you got a little more of a humor gene than me. I'm not a funny guy. Sometimes I'll drop a banger by accident, but I'm not really like a comic type. You know, it's difficult. It's difficult, the comic timing and stuff, and you got to really prepare, and you got, you know, it's hard. It's really hard to do properly. And so, you know, that may be part of why it is. Maybe I'm just a stick in the mud. Am I just a stick in the mud, guys? Maybe we can just ask that question. Anyway, go ahead. Sorry to interrupt.
Yeah, well, according to this article, you know, it's pretty dark. Carl Jung himself wrote, "The shadow is a moral problem that challenges the whole ego personality, for no one can become conscious of the shadow without considerable moral effort. To become conscious, it involves recognizing the dark aspects of the personality as present and real." So it goes into, it doesn't look at it as a very, positive thing or, enlightening thing. It's kind of the darker side of us. Political scandals, illicit affairs, the unraveling of social norms. It all has the trickster's signature, you know? So, it forces individuals to reassess their values and adapt to new realities. So it's kind of like a trick. We're being fooled to reassess their values and adapt to new, maybe negative values.
Yeah, kind of like I was saying, it's like we're the fool. Today is the day, like we're making jokes, but we're the fool. We're the fool for recognizing the inversion and making jokes about the inversion, and even inverting ourselves for the laugh, for the gag, right? We're the archetype of ourselves or whatever that looks like all year long. And then this is the day we can just sort of reverse that and go, ha ha ha, I'm not the clown today. I'm the this instead. And I was hearing that a lot, I listen to a lot of media, as you know, I'm out there on the road, got the radio on. And some people just skip over it. Like me, usually I skip over the holidays almost entirely. I kind of try not to be as, follow the calendar as everybody else because it's what everybody else does. And that's my point. You don't have to do what everybody else does. And that's why I think this day, above all, of all the 364, this one really kind of chaps my hide because, hey, we recognize it. We can make the jokes about it, but what are we doing about it? That's what I want to know. But go ahead. What else you got?
There's a woman that writes about tricksters in fairy tales. Think about like the fairy tale, like what do you call it? Was it Little Red Riding Hood, where the trickster is the big bad wolf, and he dresses up and tricks her as her grandmother so he can eat her. Anyway, that's an interesting way to look at it. The fairy tales that have tricksters in them. Fairy tales are very dark too when you think about it. I don't know why we tell children fairy tales. They're very scary. Gingerbread houses and witches that Hansel and Gretel, was it that lured in to eat a gingerbread house and
eat the children or whatever.
And, the witch ate them. So the tricksters aren't always benevolent. They're commonly malevolent. There's some negative parts of the tricksters. I mean, what's a positive trick? Think of a positive trick. Can anyone come up with one?
I don't.
Like where? All right. Jesus had a good one.
Hey, stop! Hey, stop! Come on.
No. He got fish. Like where there was no fish, he had a bucket of fish that was like full of much more fish than was visible. So that was a good trick. That was a pretty good trick.
Yeah.
Some tricksters have good tricks. What good tricks are up their sleeves?
Yeah. Well,
and is it all magic?
I'm not sure I would qualify Jesus as a trickster in this capacity. I mean, just let's not step on some toes here. But there's stage magicians the world over that have been doing this stuff because we love it. We need it. We need to be fooled. We need to kind of be roped into the idea of the fool itself and the illusion. And that's my entire point of having this discussion tonight, is because the illusion is everywhere. It's around us every single day we live. Except today is the only day we sort of recognize it and make fun of ourselves and make fun of the system and make fun of whatever. But it's like, hold on now. Like I said, you got 364 other days. And to your credit, Daryl, by the way, you bring humor every day. And so that's a good thing, sort of looking at the world in a different way and considering that maybe all of the things that we do are cooked up and concocted to be the opposite of what we should be doing and expecting. And maybe we should all be making jokes like you do. Right? Suddenly these things would, coalesce us together. We'd start to recognize that, hey, I'm not the only one that recognizes this. You do too. Somebody else hears it, a third party, a fourth party, somebody listens to the podcast. You know what I mean? I think it's an important thing to consider just society outside of itself and then be able to kind of poke fun at it. And that's how we wake people up, I think. But anyway, go ahead. What else you got?
Well, let's see. Hermes in Greek mythology, he was considered like a trickster because he was associated with thieves, liars, gamblers, and, portrayed as a master of deception and persuasion. But he also was a guide to, travelers and, shepherding souls to the underworld, but facilitating communication between gods and mortals in Greek mythology. So, he's not totally malicious. He's got his foot in each end of the spectrum as far as, the good, the bad, so it depends, how they, like Robin Hood steals from the rich, gives to the poor.
You are cutting out badly. Can't even hear a word you're saying. Test 1 2.
Beaver trickster.
Okay. Hey, Daryl.
Rabbit.
Daryl, we can't hear any of this. You're just kind of you're warbling through. I'm gonna bump you down because we can't have you going on like that. So Daryl, I'll say this again in a minute. Your internet's fuzzy. I don't know if it's mine in the chat. Do you guys still hear me? If it's her internet, we'll get her back on in a second here to finish her thoughts. But yeah, thank you for the call. Please give Daryl a follow. We'll talk to her momentarily if she's got more on that. I'd love to hear what she was saying there. Go to troubledminds.org, click the Discord, not Discord link, troubledminds.org. Friends, scroll down and you'll get who said that? Go scroll down and you'll get Daryl. Of course, follow Daryl. Please follow her YouTube channel. But yeah, but Matthew in Colorado. Go ahead, buddy. Welcome to the thing. So can you hear me? Is everything coming through clear or was it just Daryl? Matthew in Colorado. Oh, maybe it's me. He left. Okay. All right. Maybe we're having massive problems here. Let's get Daryl back in here. Let's see if this is working. Maybe it's me. Oh, I got it too, huh? Oh, Rumble went down. So it looks like it's me. Test. No. I sound fine. Daryl, are you there? Maybe it's my internet took a crap. Sound better now? Okay. I guess we had a problem. An internet hiccup. You tell me. Daryl in New York, are you there? Test 1 2. Matthew in Colorado, are you there? Test 1 2.
Yeah. So at first it was just Daryl and you were fine, but then you started breaking up. So I left and came back in and you seem to be fixed. How am I coming?
Yeah, you sound great. So we'll go right ahead. We'll get Daryl back in a moment here, and we'll give you some time at the top of the hour, Daryl. Welcome, Matco. Thanks for popping back in and dealing with the tech issues that does happen on a live show. Welcome to the joint. What's on your mind tonight regarding Echoes of the Fool? Go ahead, sir.
Well, first, and I'll keep it short, but I almost didn't call in tonight, and that's because of basically how you treated me the last time I called in, and I was reflecting on other times you were let's just say disrespectful, and I don't mean to air it public or anything, but I just thought, a lot of people wonder why I disappeared, so I just wanted to get it out there. And
yes, of course. So my eternal apologies for all the disrespects of the future as well. Go ahead, sir.
Oh man.
Hey, I can win every rhetorical argument. Go ahead, sir. Welcome to the joint. Happy April Fools.
Dang it. I lost where I was here. So this is quick, but I wanted to share a brief history I found on the actual history of April Fools, which I didn't know. You ready for this?
Go right ahead.
Okay. So back in the midst of 1983, the Associated Press first printed the story of how April Fool's Day came about, as revealed by Joseph Boskin, a professor of history at Boston University. The AP story was picked up and run nationwide in the papers and on television, but that's been so long ago that many people have forgotten or never heard how April Fools began. So here's the story. The Roman Emperor Constantine, when a group of Roman fools or court jesters jocularly told the emperor that jesters could do a better job of running the empire, took them up on this as a challenge. Constantine then nominated a jester named Kugel to be the emperor king for a day. Boskin related how the jester passed an edict calling for absurdity on that day, and the custom then went on to become an annual event running to the present day and right through to this very day. So now you know the true history of how April Fool's Day came about. Except there is one more thing about the story. Boston had actually played an epic April Fool's Day prank on the Associated Press and had concocted the entire story.
The AI was hallucinating, except it was a prankster back then. Layers and layers of pranks. Yeah. Okay. So like I said, I love that type of stuff. What I don't love is everybody with their kind of like half cooked thing, like, oh, this instead of that. Ah, April Fools. I'm like, about to jump off a cliff. Not directly, not literally, but metaphorically. But yeah, I mean, that's funny. See, now that's funny. They got trolled. They got put on by a reporter that was like, hey, I'm going to write the thing. And I was with you with Constantine. I'm like, oh yeah, this makes a lot of sense.
Yeah. Yeah, and he's like a famous historian, so of course they believed it, right? He's got the credibility. So I was somebody had posted yesterday, watch out, tomorrow's April Fool's, so don't believe everything people are posted on the internet. And I'm like, wait a minute, how's that different than any other day?
Exactly, which is exactly my point. That's the entire thing. It's like, okay, so now it's going to be running rampant today. But also, by the way, it also runs rampant the other 364. It just, we don't focus on it. We let it divide us. We argue about these things, and they are absurd. Like so much of actual culture is absurd, the absurd itself. And so we're just, we let it go. We let it go every other day. But today we're like, we're so funny. We're not that funny. Well, what's funny? Culture's funny. Go ahead, sir.
I like the idea that you were focused on with the fool being like an agent of chaos that's a good, appropriate, perhaps timely interjection into a system that's either stagnated or going down the tubes and needs to be shaken up and changed. And I think there's evidence of that going on right now.
Yeah, I got a blurb to read. That's perfect for what you just said. This is the next passage that I hadn't got to yet in the write-up, and this is exactly what you just said. In this lens, being the fool isn't idiocy. It's sacred rebellion. And talking about us, the population. When the world demands that you take everything seriously, absurdity becomes an act of spiritual resistance. Refusing to play the game by its written rules may be the only way to expose the fact that the rulebook itself was always a trick. The fool knows what the king never can, that power clings to illusion and truth arrives wearing a crooked grin. Go ahead, sir.
Yeah, that's perfect. And, I think like yourself, have since childhood and definitely teenage years, this anti-authority, rebellious nature that just, I didn't outgrow it after puberty. It just stuck around and got stronger. So, I have that rebel nature, and that's kind of what the fool does in a sense of, I recognize, the BS as what it is. And instead of stooping to that level or responding, I'm not even going to dignify it by taking it seriously. And so I'm going to go the opposite direction and just mock it or be a fool or do something ridiculous or, when life becomes so, or society becomes so absurd, then why take it seriously? It's just, you can't anymore. It's just, it's gone to the theater of ridiculousness and absurdity and fools. So, or foolishness. And so that's a perfect sort of new chapter in the drama where playing the part of the fool or the role, makes perfect sense. And the fool, it reminded me of something we touched on a few nights ago or a week ago where somebody, it was a stand-up comedian, and he said, somebody had said something so ridiculous and kind of stupid. He was just like really at a loss for how to respond, and he tried different things in the past and, trying to make a sensible reply. And then he said, I've got a whole new technique now, and what I do is I just one-up them, and I just say even something stupider or more ridiculous.
I got the ultimate one up. Oh yeah, Jupiter is stupider. Go ahead, sir. We got about 30 seconds. Yeah. If you're welcome to stay after too. We're going to get everybody in here, so hang tight, everybody. We'll get to you. If we got to bring a couple people on at a time, we got a lot of calls. But go ahead. About 30 seconds for you, and then if you want to stay, it's up to you.
Yeah. So you apply the same thing to the Joker, and it's just like, oh, okay, well, the only appropriate response to this is just to be all ridiculous and stupid and absurd and insert some humor, because there's no way to play on a rational playing field because there isn't one anymore. So I need a new strategy.
Exactly right. You stay and you go, and you tell me.
I'll stay.
Stay right there. Please mute up. We'll get back to you in a second. We'll get Daryl back on in a sec as well. Be right back. We're talking Echoes of the Fool tonight. Initiation through absurdity. April Fools, what does it mean to you? And how absurd is this? Don't go anywhere. More Troubled Minds coming up. I see all the calls. We'll get to you guys. Thanks for being patient. Here we go. Be right back.
In the shadows of the networks do they hide? Whispered legends unseen they reside. Ghosts in the machine, they move so fast. Guardians of rumors from the forgotten past. In the circuits where the secret lies, they breathe in one speak in disguise. You're free. Ghost in the machine. Let me be. Ghost in the machine. Can't see, but you're teaching me what it means to be. Surveillance eyes can't pierce the veil they weave. Invisible wisdom in code they believe. In the ether where freedom's not confined, they leave no trace, no shadow left behind. They navigate through the digital stream, living legends in this privacy dream. Ghost in the machine. You're free. Ghost in the machine. Let me be. Ghost in the machine. Can't see, but you're teaching me what it needs to be. Through the hidden ways, in the silence, will pick up their path. Those in the mysteries unleash their wrath. Ghost in the machine, you're free. Ghost in the machine, let me be. Ghost in the machine, can't see, but you're teaching me what it means to be. In the jagged cold they find their might, guardians of a world forever in twilight. Incursions warriors they silently strive, protect the truth, keep privacy alive. The silent echoes they haunt the trails, binary forests where secrets prevail. Re shadows grace they dance unseen, defenders of the unseen, digital dream. Ghosts in the machine, you're free. Ghosts in the machine, let me be. You're teaching me what it means to be. In the silence, they speak volumes loud. Guardians of freedom.
Hey there, friends. My name's Mike. This is Troubled Minds. All these amazing people. Thanks for being part of this. Thanks for staying up late with us and caring about the conversations. We're going to get back to Matthew, try and get Daryl back in here. We're going to just get straight to the phone lines. We'll go to Mr. Mission Control after that. Sora has had your hand up for a long time too. So we'll try and work a couple of you guys in at a time just to get to kind of swat this down. I didn't expect all the big response because it was started out a little slow with me rambling on a little bit, but thank you again for the interest in this, and we'll get back to you guys, and we'll start to just jamming people in here to talk to each other. Who did I miss? If I missed you, what's up? Rich in the chat says on X says, perhaps mentioned already, but I love how legendary orator and self-dubbed philosopher entertainer Alan Watts pointed out how, particularly in Eastern philosophy and spiritual folklore, the fool is often an analog for the sage or wise man. The fool, quote, wants for nothing, does not overthink or think at all, is happy when others are happy. He is an open page spread for what is to write. Fantastic stuff. Also, Hiker says over on Rumble, in tarot, the fool's card number is 0. So to me, the essence of the fool is diametrically opposed to whatever AI is. In my opinion, digital systems can't truly process or embody the concept of zero. That's actually a fantastic point there. I wish I had thought of that, but hey, yeah, that's why we have smart friends and fire hiker. Great stuff. Squigs adds this. We must be careful not to become a cynic when we can see the fool and others can't. Sure, the emperor has no clothes. Not everyone will care. And that's true. And that's happening all around us. Wild stuff. You guys are the best. Thanks for all the smart comments and thanks for being nice to each other. That means a lot to me. And Ephemerance had a banger too that somebody pinned. If you can repin that, whoever Ephemerance had, again, there's so much chat, I can't go dig it and find it. But anyway, here we go. Trouble Minds coming up. More with Matthew, more with Daryl. We're going to get to these calls and get to these people on Discord. Kramos coming up as well. Here we go. Trouble Minds happening. Meow. Welcome back to Troubled Minds. All the things, all the places, yada, yada. We got too many callers to go through all the motions. You know where to do. TroubledMinds.org, all the stuff is there. Tonight we're talking Echoes of the Fool, initiation through absurdity. And of course, we're dealing with April Fool's Day. Okay, like I said, it is my least favorite holiday because it's the inversion holiday. It's like an inversion ritual is what I'm describing it. It seems to be the only day we can point out the absurdity of the world we live in. However, to me, I am that clown. I am the fool itself. I am an embodiment, because we all are if we want to be, the embodiment of the fool archetype, which means that we don't have to wait for April 1st to be not just, make the inversion jokes, but also why don't we point out the inversion of society? The other 364. Look, this is what Trouble Minds has always been about. It's nuts. It's nuts to me that this is one of those things where we're like, everything we can make the jokes today. But I want the jokes tomorrow, but not the inversions of ourselves, not the caricatures of what we see ourselves as. I want the jokes about society. I want George Carlin back. I want those things. And I think it's in us. Hi, Oxy, I see you there. How you doing? I didn't get to shout out. Welcome back. Let's go to Matthew in Colorado and Daryl. You guys are both on. Start real quick, Matt. We'll go to Daryl so we can hear, and then we'll get some calls in here. What's up, brother? Welcome back.
Yeah, thanks. And I will be quick. I was going to let you just move along to other people, but during the break, I was actually thinking about George Carlin, and that's the telegraphy where I got that through to your mind to bring him up. But I think he embodies sort of, and thinking about the fool and related the Joker, like in a deck of cards, is the fool. And stand-up comedy and humor, and it points out, and makes ridiculousness. But, part of the value that George Carlin did is he was, I consider him enlightened, and it did a lot of social and political commentary, and the humor makes it palatable. And that was, just comedic genius combined for social change in the way we were talking about that role can be used to introduce some chaos and at times when maybe the society needs some improvement. But yeah, that's it. Move along, get in some other callers, and I'll stick around.
You're the best. Stay right there. Daryl in New York, welcome back. Test 1, 2. Sorry for, I guess she said her Discord crashed. Can you hear me? And then we'll take some calls here, and you guys are welcome to stay tuned.
There I am.
There you are. Welcome back.
Okay.
Go ahead. If you can't keep it short, we've had a lot of people waiting a long time. Go ahead.
I'll be fast. I just had a couple of things. Basically, the April Fool's Day, April Fool's was based on something in 1582, where the French calendar wanted to leave the Julius Caesar calendar and start the new year on April 1st. And I don't know how that went over that well, because I don't think that it stuck. But also, I wanted you to know something about Google. The funny things Google did. This is so silly. What Google did on April 1st. Wait, these are the pranks that they did. Google okay. Wait a second. All right, 2002, they ran a prank where they announced they would be selling a new search engine called Google Reader. In 2007, they were going to change their name to Google. And in 2009, they announced they were going to start selling Google glasses. So, boy, did they have a great sense of humor or what?
That's what I mean. So all the corporate stuff too, that like the corporate sense of humor stuff that comes out of these jokes, I mean, I'm not even sure I think they had like the Apple iPlug. Like it was kind of like a butt plug. Did you see that one? Like, but I'm not even sure if that was like an official Apple joke. I think that was like a third party joke that somebody made. But I mean, that was funny. But these because you're corporate, you can't be funny. You can't act, because funny is edgy and edgy is offensive, and so you just can't be. Right. Yeah, it's crazy. You're absolutely right and spot on with this. And that's the absurdity of this. It's like, okay, so this is the day that the corporations can kind of troll us a little bit, and it's not funny because it's not edgy, and they want us to still buy their stuff. You see, so even on the day of inversion, the inversion actual initiation, they're still just like. Nope, we're gonna just we'll just screw you the other 364 instead, and you're totally right. You're totally right.
The BBC in England, they said that the April Fool's joke they had was that they were harvesting spaghettis from trees. That spaghetti grew on trees. Boy, they're funny.
That's so funny. Oh, let's do it. Let's give him a obligatory. So funny. So funny.
It's so funny.
Daryl, you're the best.
What is this? The Taco Bell made a joke by a full page, and some of those papers claiming they bought the Liberty Bell to help reduce the national debt. And they were going to rename it the Taco Liberty Bell. Taco Liberty Bell. Mm-hmm. Boy, they're funny.
We'll do another one. Oh, so funny. Please give Daryl a follow. Give Matthew in Colorado a follow. Troubledminds.org/friends. Click the friends on top. Just scroll down. It's all alphabetical. And please go help our friends. That's the whole point of this, is growing a community, talking to each other about these wild ideas. And you're spot on, Daryl. Recognize how the corporate stuff isn't funny. Yeah, absolutely. 702-957-1037. Click the Discord link at troubledminds.org. Let's go to... so it was close. It was Sore and Mr. Mission Control. So please be brief, guys, and we'll get you on here and talk about this. Let's go to Mr. Mission Control. Sore, you're up next. Hang tight. What's up, buddy? How you doing? Can you hear me? And go right ahead, sir.
Hey guys, hey Mike, happy April Fool's Day. I'm not gonna ruin your April Fool's Day by causing jokes, but I'll be serious. But I studied metaphysics all throughout my life, and I never had a real understanding of the Fool card until I got in my 20s, started singing karaoke. And then these people these old hippies pulled me aside and said, you got the fascinera, because I could, I got people up and dancing. I was a good performer. I was a good singer too. But later on, 10 years later, I was doing it more. I could do stand up and everything like that, and start doing characters, and it's important in, practicing this shamanism or magic or whatever, to have that drama, have that, get up on stage and perform, and to break those, offensive things that everybody gets mad about, and you stop getting mad about stuff and turning everything kind of funny, and that will help build your metaphysics or whatever, your magic. Like remote viewing and stuff, it's important to keep everybody distracted a little bit when you're doing stuff like that, or entertained, or have a good time, and it makes the energy flow better. But I never had a clear understanding of the Fool card until later in life, And here I put the tarot cards away when I was like 14 because I was scaring people with the accuracy of it all. And I thought I was proficient, when I was young doing it, but now. And so when I made my new channel again, came back to YouTube, I'm just doing a few, comedy shorts here and there, not doing any live streams or anything serious like I was to get, banned during the whole thing anymore. And when Trump and them got in there, I kind of took a little break to see, because I didn't want to start making jokes and then get doged, you know what I mean? So
I know what you mean.
I'm kind of taking a little break on it. Yeah, I'm kind of taking a little break on it, just let the smoke clear before I start really doing more comedy stuff again. But it's important to, if you're going down that road, get up on stage. And I know it's hard to find places anymore like karaoke bars or anything like that, but to try that comedy thing, put a spin on it, not just for April Fool's Day, but it's every day for me, because it for one, keeps me out of trouble, getting mad about stuff, and helps with, anxiety and stuff like that. If anybody's having problems with, focusing their energy or doing remote viewing and stuff like that, you got to make things funny. You got to make things fun.
I think that's the part of it. That's the weird sort of dichotomy we're dealing with here. So, look, we all want to have fun, and so it's almost as if the inversion aspect of it is like, well, here's the only day you can have fun. You see what I'm saying? It's like the mind trick, the ultimate mind screw as part of that. And I think you're spot on. Sorry, you're up next. Hang tight, and we'll get to you in just a second. So go ahead. What else you got, sir, Mr. Michigan?
What you were saying about the chaos, like the chaos magic. And where we're going with this thing, and who was saying, was it Herschel was saying that the AI was really good at comedy? Was surprised that it was a really good comedy. Somebody said that last night or something. But yeah, it's important to get up and perform. If anybody's out there struggling with like the tarot, you got to understand all those aspects of the card. But if you don't do it and live it, it helped me tremendously. It opened up a whole new world to get up and perform with people. And it, anywhere I can go, I can put on any kind of character I want, and nobody knows it. Nobody knows. Nobody knows the difference.
Yeah.
And not trying to manipulate people, but it helps manipulate people.
Yeah. Well, a little bit of chaos, like you shouldn't be completely and 100% predictable. And again, I know the people on Discord can't hear you. Right. It's not piping through, but you are going out to the stream. And so the point you're making is that, and I agree, you can't be 100% predictable all the time, or else you're just part of the system. You have to have sort of a little bit of chaos factor. And I don't mean in a mean way. I mean in a naturally nice, unpredictable way. And that's part of it. That's part of why we talk to each other. To lighten the mood. Exactly.
Lighten the mood.
Exactly right.
Yeah, there's a lot of technological problems going on with the storms and stuff, and I'm a little high strung because we got severe weather coming this way. I'm just not with it tonight. But yeah, all right. I'll talk to you all later. I'll be in chat.
You're the best, brother. Appreciate you very much. Mr. Mission Control, you know him, you love him. He's actually the guy that's the only guy I know that's been banned the most times in the whole universe on YouTube. Every time he shows up on YouTube, they ban him. And then eventually he lays low and then comes back and makes another account. But I can't count the number of times he's been banned on YouTube. And yeah, that's what's going on tonight. Sorry about that. So the phone line is not going through to the Discord. So sorry about the Discord peeps, but it was a great call. You can, it was coming through the stream. So check that out if you're interested. And you should be, because Mr. Mission Control is a very smart guy. We're talking tonight, the echoes of the fool, initiation through absurdity, meaning that, again, we flip it upside down and we're like, okay, we can make fun of ourselves in society today, but not the other 364, because then it's cancel culture. It's it's lefty righty. It's politics as usual. It's absurdity as usual. You see what I mean? And this is why this April 1st today really kind of pisses me off. And not because, and Mr. Mission Control was talking about, levity is good. And so my point, as just the addendum on top of that, and then I'll drop it, is, and go to Sora. Actually, let's get Sora in here. Is that we should be like this every day, shouldn't we? We should be sort of the archetypal resonance of this every single day, because if we're not doing this and shaking the cage, what are people seeing around us, right? If we're not pointing these things out like George Carlin did so perfectly, so succinctly, so hilariously, then what are we doing? We're failing ourselves is really kind of the point. Sora, you're up. Just click the back on the thing, hop on in here, and you're good to go. Sorry we weren't streaming on X, because it just becomes difficult with all the different audio stuffs. I'll get it all fixed up very soon, but just click the hand button and it'll pop you up on the stage, unmute, and Sora, you're on Troubled Minds if you're there. Test 1 2. Test. Appreciate the call, Mr. Mission Control. You were the best as well. Test. Sora, are you there? I'm going to read this while we'll get this figured out. Over on, this is the actual comment I couldn't find from Ephemerance. I found it. So April Fools is the sacrificial relief valve for the inflated chaos of daily tomfoolery. Yeah, banger. So it's nice to have smart friends, isn't it? What's going on, guys? Yep. Thank you for everybody telling me about the sound issues. That's like, if I don't know it, I can't fix it. So now I know what's going on, and we'll get it fixed over the course of the next day or so. But Sora, all you got to do is hit the little hand button, accept that you're on the stage, and you'll pop up here on the stage, and let's hear what you have to say. Thanks for being part of this and caring about the ideas. And hello, are you there? Okay, I've done it. Let's see. There we go. Sora's on. All right, there we go. Test 1, 2. Are you there? Can you hear me?
Yeah. Can you hear me?
Yeah. Kind of loud, not so loud, but I'll pump you up to as high as I can. But yeah, welcome to the thing. How are you? Thanks for being patient. And what's on your mind, sir?
Yeah. Well, I like April Fool's Day a lot, and it's exactly because I absolutely hate it even more. And I know immediately that sounds like a really, really weird thing to say, but really, well, it's a day that I never really see coming around. So when I wake up and read the news, I see these crazy, strange things, and I'm like, what is going on in the world? However, this year, I woke up and I started reading the news, and I was like, okay, all right, let's move on to the next story. And it really gave me a sense of how absolutely ridiculous things are these days, but it helps me keep in mind that there's never actually been any evidence to support the idea that reality should be taken seriously.
Very well said. And it's the same thing, right? So when Terrence McKenna talked about this novelty theory, and this came up when I was talking to Jay of Project Unity as well, he said that eventually the most abject normie that just like kind of hanging out, not really paying attention to anything. I'm not saying anybody here, you guys are way ahead of the game, but starts to notice that things are so absurd that you can't ignore it anymore. This is where we're headed. And this is the space, right? So imagine on a day today, like actually today, I didn't see a ton of this stuff. I just saw some goofballs kind of showing their ass on, live streams and stuff like this. Then I won't tell you who they are because I'm not like, that's not my game, not my game. But you get my meaning is that once we sort of just gloss over April Fool's Day and that's it, and we don't even recognize it anymore because every day is April Fool's Day, the inversion ritual is complete. Right. So the joke's on us and we're allowed to laugh at it one day of the year, but the rest of the year it's deadly serious and it's, online pugilism and we have to fight each other over nonsensical talking points. Welcome to clown world and the upside down. That's the thing that drives me the most nuts about this.
I quite agree. And I had a short conversation with my mother about this because we both are kind of the same mind. She hates people because she gets fooled a lot more. But we were sitting there and we were talking about, well, this is the point where we are, where things are so ridiculous on a day-to-day basis that we get to April Fool's and we're just like, okay, well, let's move on. And it really does bring to mind the idea that this is an inversion point. And I really did feel that today more than I have any other April Fool's Day prior. I hope that we have gotten to that point where we can look at these crazy stories and begin to really accurately guess at what is real, what is fake, why are we tolerating this kind of tomfoolery as opposed to trickster-isms or just the fool. I mean, I suppose a distinction can be made.
Yeah, exactly. And it's once again, it's on us to, as I always say, expect more, to ask for more, and demand when these absurdities are in our face that we make a fuss. We make a fuss together. We make a joke. We sort of point these things out to people who aren't necessarily paying attention. Okay. And like I said, I don't have any ill will to people that don't talk about the things we talk about. I do think we're ahead. Okay. But again, I'm biased and all the rest of that stuff. So I can't really say specifically directly. Right. But to me, right, there was a point where I wasn't talking about this stuff either. So, the normie and I know you're not saying this, but I'm saying just as a rule of thumb, take it for what it's worth. But recognize that there was a point in your guys' lives out there where maybe you weren't thinking about these ideas either just yet. So we need to be nice to people that are, kind of not there. and point out the absurdities every day, 365 days a year, not just today. But yeah, fire stuff. What else you got, sir? Go ahead.
Okay, I totally agree because, I mean, you may say, I mean, as a collective that we are there, that, you know, we're ahead of the curve, but I often feel like I don't really know what's going on. And I'm always researching and sifting through, you know, a pile of ashes to find the phoenix. And I really just think that these kinds of moments, these kinds of reflections are very important in learning to understand that as a society, we create a veil. As a society, we create an illusion that we ourselves put a responsibility on ourselves to discern the truth when it's not readily available. It's kind of not fair, but it's also part of the process. That's about all I got.
Right on. Appreciate you. Thanks for being patient with your hand up and all the rest and going through the technology bit. I haven't added you to the list. I will. Please follow Sora on X, troubledminds.org/friends. Scroll down. It'll be alphabetical. Follow Sora. Did I add you? I don't think I did, right? I just checked that. I'm not pretty sure I didn't.
I think you did. I appreciate all of you.
Okay. Did I? All right. I'm looking down. I don't see Sora on there. Maybe I messed it up. I'll double check. You're the best. I appreciate you, brother. Thanks for staying up late with us. Thanks for considering the ideas. And look, don't give up. Like I said, this is important because just because you don't understand fully what's going on, I promise you I don't either. However, if we don't point out the absurdities, I can't afford to. Yeah, right, exactly. I'm not sure any of us could. Imagine if we actually got like the actual historical reference of what we're dealing with right now, and it went through the zeitgeist. I don't think we can handle it. I think you're right. So absurdity becomes our secret.
Yeah, I'd have a little short circuit at least for a couple of weeks.
Not just you. It becomes our actual superpower, right? Our collective superpower. Yeah, fire stuff. Appreciate the call. Thanks again for staying up late. Please give Sora a follow over there on X. Link will be down below, troubledminds.org/friends. Thanks for being patient with each other and sharing the airwaves. You guys are the best. I think Kramos was next. We'll go to Kramos now. And like I said, I didn't expect first we got no calls and I was like, oh, this is going to be one of those ones. But then we got a ton of calls. So thank you for being patient with each other. Kramos, what's up, brother? You're on. You got about 3 minutes. You're welcome to stay after the break as well. Go ahead, sir. How are you tonight?
Hola. How are you?
Hola. I'm good. How are you? Welcome to the joint. How you doing? How you feeling? Do you guys have April Fools? How do you feel about it?
Estoy muy bien. I'm very good. Thank you.
Nice. Glad to hear it.
Well, I'm going to make it short. I know you have a lot of calls. Stupidity, I think, is the core of freedom in some way. And I'm going to tell you a little story of mine because when I was working in the agriculture ministry in Chile, I have a lot of ideas. Most of my ideas were very stupid. So my boss told me, hey, please don't give me more ideas. And I told him, all the respect, stupidity for me is my engine to be creative. So I have this idea, the stupid one, to present to the minister. And my boss told me, don't present that idea to the minister. So, okay, I'm going to get fired. I know I'm not going to present that idea. So in the meeting with the minister, I put my red nose like a clown, and I changed my voice like, hello, Mr. Minister. Thank you for receiving my idea. And my boss was looking at me like, what? God damn it.
I'm going to kill you. I'm going to kill you.
Yeah, exactly. So I present my idea with this voice to the minister. And when I finished, the minister was like this insane, awkward silence. And after that, the minister started laughing like, wah-ha-ha, and he told my boss, you need more people like this. I haven't laughed like this since many years ago. So I was like looking to my boss, and my boss was looking like me, like apologizing with the look. So I told the minister, thank you to be open-minded and to receive the good part of my idea, because I'm very stupid. So I have a lot of material.
Nice. And then your dumb idea became a law, and everybody has to abide by it now.
Hey, it was a very expensive idea, and they financed all of it. So I was very happy about it. So I think being stupid, being absurd, it's for me, I've been stupid all my life. So April Fools for me, it's all year. It's every month, every day. Because humor, it's for me the tool to get rid of my anger. Because when I have problems because of third parties, I lock myself in my room and I start writing the joke about what makes me angry. And when I can laugh about it, it's all good because it's the most beautiful relief.
As they say, laughter is the best medicine. You're the best, brother. You're welcome to stay. If you're done, we're out of time. If you want to stay after the break, you tell me.
Okay, I will stay. No worries.
Please mute up. We'll be right back with more from Cramos. We got Herschel coming up. And if you guys want to pop back in here, sorry for running everybody up. Be right back. More Troubled Minds coming up. Don't go anywhere.
Drifting through the quantum haze. Mind entangled in a daze. Whispers in the neural mist. Echoes of what might exist. Lost in time in this web we spin. It's alright beyond our skin. Consciousness forever twined in the dark unseen. Quantum dreams, we're all connected. Though we're scattered, we are reflected. Frequencies that pull us in. Parallel worlds kept within. Synapses that intertwine. Fragments of an endless line. Feel the pulse of a distant star. It's alright, we are who we are. In the void we find the light in tangled hearts. Quantum dreams, we're all connected. In the silence, hear the call. One by one we rise and fall. Quantum minds forever near. In this world so clear. Quantum dreams, we're all connected. Though we're scattered, we are reflected. Dark energy in the depths we find. Mysteries of the human mind. Particles that drift afar. Whispers of who we are. Hold the thread of the great unknown. It's alright, we are never alone. Flow through time on currents thin. Universe is found within. Feel the echoes of the past. In this moment, futures cast. Through the veil of the space between. It's alright, life's a lucid dream.
Which is kind of exactly the point. That song is so on point for this tonight as well. What's up? The fire it take from Sora there. Thanks for the call. Says this. Check this out. The fool has such power to change hearts and minds. Never underestimate humor. It is relatively universal. Very succinct, very well said, very poignant, and exactly what we're talking about tonight. Because, hey, just because we get one day to laugh doesn't mean we don't get the rest. Here we go. Troubled Minds happening now. Welcome back to Troubled Minds. I'm your host, Michael Strange. We're streaming on YouTube, Rumble, X, Twitch, DLive, and Kick. We are broadcasting live on the Troubled Minds Radio Network. That's KUAP Digital Broadcasting. And, of course, 88.4 FM, Auckland, New Zealand. Tonight, we're talking Echoes of the Fool. Initiation through absurdity. Check this out. What if the world isn't breaking, but recalibrating through chaos? What if the clowns, the memes, the absurd rituals, and the collapsing trust aren't signs of decay, but signals of a deeper system waking up? Could the fool be more than comic relief? Could he be the architect of what comes next? And of course, that's on us, the archetype of the fool. And not only that, to not leave it behind on April 1st. And I think it is the inversion ritual of we're not allowed to talk about these things other than today. Well, let's say, no, thank you. Let's talk about this stuff all year long. 702-957-1037. Click the Discord link at troubleminds.org. We got Herschel coming up. Kramos, what else you got to add? And then we'll go to Herschel. Thanks for being patient, Herschel. And what's up, Kramos in Chile? Welcome back.
Oh, thank you. Now I was remembering because for me being stupid, like in a positive way, was thanks to my father, because when I was a kid in the high school, they mocked me, and my father advice was, if they are telling you that you are stupid, you need to tell them that you are not stupid. You are the best stupid one in all this high school. Mm-hmm. So for me, that was printed in my behavior in all my life. And thanks to that, when I changed high school and there was this bullies, this guy making bully and hitting, punching everybody. I'm talking about 1996. So I was making like these faces, and they call me the Mask for the Jim Carrey movie. So, hey, Mask, show me a funny face. So I was the clown, and because I was the clown, they never punched me, and even though they still punching other students, and they gave me their food. So it was like, hey, being a clown saved me, because when other guys wanted to punch me, this guy defend me. So I think I live my life as the stupid way. The more stupid I am, the more free I am, because when I present something stupid, everybody's scared. So when they laugh, I think it's like a relief, a freedom relief.
Yeah, there's a couple quotes that come to mind. One, Terrence McKenna said, I can't find it right now. Let me read you this one. Now, this is from, have you ever seen Game of Thrones?
Not entirely.
Okay, so just real quick, just a real brief, in case nobody's seen it. Tyrion Lannister is a dwarf, okay? I know you're not supposed to use that term. He's a little person, okay? And he's talking to Jon Snow, who is a bastard, which of course means his parents are not married, right? So they're kind of flawed individuals in society's eyes. Tyrion, the small person, says, let me give you some advice, bastard. Never forget what you are. The rest of the world will not. Wear it like armor, and it could never be used to hurt you. And Jon Snow says, what the hell do you know about being a bastard? Tyrion says, all dwarfs are bastards in their father's eyes. There's power. There's power in who we are, even in the societal rap they give us. There's power. And you explained it perfectly as part of that. I'll get the Terrence McKenna one up too in a minute, because it's incredibly important to what you said. But yeah, you're the best, brother. What else you got? We got Herschel behind you. So you tell me, you got a wrap, or you want to sit for a little bit and come back? It's all up to you. You tell me.
I'm gonna go to buy a couple of beers because I'm editing work. But to wrap my idea, be aware that being not stupid is like building a cage around you. So you need to, I think, my advice, I think that you need to be stupid even if you are alone with yourself, talking to yourself. And my biggest advice is try, because it's possible to transform and convert the troubles that you have, the problems that you have. You can turn it into a joke. And if you can make that transformation, you can be aware that everything can be worse, and it's not. So you're able to make a joke out of it. So I think it's good for the organism, and to be aware and to share like I am doing right now.
Amen. And like we are doing, I am the archetype of the fool eternally. And that's exactly the point. Let's do this. Let's talk about these things, and let's spot the absurdities of the world we live in. You're the best, Kramos. Cheers when you get the beer. Godspeed on the editing. Always a pleasure. Glad to have you. Thanks for the call.
Appreciate it. Thank you, Michael.
You're the best. You know him, you love him. That's Kramos from Chile. You know where to find him, troubledminds.org/friends. Scroll down a little bit. It is alphabetical. So Kramos starts with the C, as you probably expect. Go follow his YouTube channel. He's doing great work over there. Love to hear your thoughts on this. We're talking the inversion ritual. And there's a lot of ways to look at it, of course, but echoes of the fool, initiation through absurdity, taking your calls. And what do you know about this? How does April Fools make you feel? 702-957-1037. Click the Discord link at troubledminds.org. We'll put you on the show. Just like this, Herschel on the game. What's up, brother? Welcome to the joint. How are you tonight, sir? And go right ahead. Commercial, Herschel. All you got to do is unmute and you're good to go. We can't hear you yet, just so you know.
Oh, okay. There, I might be better now.
Way better. Welcome to the joint.
All right. So today I was watching a movie, and it was about people that are like in MI6 and the CIA and all that. And I really was struck by the script writing, because they were exposing how absurd the existence of these people are. Their entire lives are fabrications. Their entire identities are based on deception. And it kept coming up over and over again, and the psychological effects it had on them. And they were so confused that they needed therapy and all of these things, because they didn't even know who they were anymore. Their whole life is an act, you know? And the reason I bring that up is because that's kind of a way to be the trickster in art. Like, art can be revealing, can reveal things in a very subversive, in a very subversive way, like that. Like, they're exposing the corruption of that profession and of our governments in a way that they are, but they're not. You know, and there's a lot of those kinds of discussions going on. And I just found it very interesting that this was a mainstream movie with really famous actors, and they were embedding this in the script.
Yeah,
and I was impressed.
And that's the thing, right? So there's that sort of the bit of art that's for consumption, but then there's a bit of art.
Yeah, they're tricksters.
They're tricksters.
It's trickstery.
That's exactly what it is.
It's really trickstery, and there's a lot of that. And in this time that we're in, people are talking about how ridiculous the political situation is. There's more and more of this happening in the arts, even in the mainstream arts. There's more and more of it happening. Keep your eyes open for it. I think it's a really good thing. I think it's a great sign. I think it's a natural part of the balance of things. Like, as crazy and vile as things get, there's always going to be a reaction, and it doesn't have to be a reaction in kind. It doesn't have to be a violent reaction. It doesn't have to be a treacherous reaction. It can be a beautiful and a creative reaction, you know, and that's why the arts are good.
Exactly right.
But I have a story to read that's not like that really, but it's just plain silly.
Silly's good.
Okay.
Which is
I
exactly
don't want to
the
give
point.
it away. What?
Silly's good. Silly's good. I love that. Hold on. Give me just 1 second here. Let me talk through this. Let's see. I found it. I had the quote from Terence McKenna. Now I can't find it. Anyway, I'd love to hear a story. Go right ahead. Herschel, ladies and gentlemen, Herschel Sterling, commercial Herschel. Go ahead, sir.
This is called Giant Smorgasbord. There has never been so much mashed potatoes in one place, Jean says. She stares at a pile of mashed potatoes that is piled up on the table in front of her. It towers at least 2 feet over her head. Yes, ma'am, we have been up all night preparing for the smorgasbord, Jeffrey says, the man hired to get this done. She then walks over to a gigantic vat of gravy. The massive dome-shaped stainless steel bowl holds 80 gallons, and it's full to about 6 inches from the brim. Oh my goodness, if a kid falls into that thing, we are going to be in trouble, Jean says. Well, I can't see how that can happen, says Jeffrey. On the next table, it's layers and layers upon more layers of sliced ham. This is quite remarkable, Jean says. We have to keep the children out from under the tables. They can't be running around and bumping the tables. Well, there should be no way they could do that, ma'am, Jeffrey says. As Jean walks over to the next table, where there is a towering and twisting interwoven assemblage of green beans, she has a look of awe on her face. This looks more like a work of art than a service of green beans, Jeffrey. Our people are some creatives, that's for sure, Jean. The desserts smell very special, even through the gauntlet of the savory dishes. Let's see it all, she tells Jeffrey. The crew rolls out a Jell-O cake that is 8 feet long by 6 feet wide and 2 feet thick. Jeffrey, I must ask, how are we expected to make the pieces from this cake fit onto the children's plates? What is someone thinking really about all of these incredibly large preparations? Well, Jeffrey responds, I don't understand the question, ma'am. We simply followed the instructions based on your description. You told us you wanted a giant smorgasbord for children. We did the best we could to think about the things child giants would like. Jeffrey, I told you we wanted a giant smorgasbord for children. It's not plural, Jean replied. Oh, dear, Jeffrey said. The end.
Of course. Hey,
isn't that stupid?
No,
April Fools, everybody.
Hold on, but it's fantastic. That's fantastic, and that is literally the absurdity of life, right? One little thing can turn everything into this madness of misunderstanding, and it's happening continually and constantly. And it's a perfect way to sort of blow it up and make it absurd. And that's the point. Happy April Fool's Day. And hey, I relish the fool archetype. Clearly, I always say, look, I'm not here for truth. I'm here for ideas. I'm here for what we're missing. I'm here for pointing out what society is missing. And if we don't do this together, we are doing the wrong part for our part, in my opinion. And yeah, you how long ago did you write that story? You've been on this,
this one was this last February, Flash Fiction February. So this was February 21st. So it was just a couple months ago.
Okay. I was assuming it was an older story, but it's fantastic nonetheless. And it is sort of that the shamanic. I can't find the exact Terence McKenna quote, but it was something to the effect of that the shaman recognizes that society is a joke and doesn't take it seriously. And that's why the shaman can actually influence society sort of outside of it as that trickster element that we're talking about through the artist or through the tricks or whatever it is, while society's taking everything super seriously and they're super mad about every damn thing. But the troll, sort of the troll outside of the societal space, is able to go, well, let me tell you what, let's make some things here and some things there. And then suddenly society shakes up, even not recognizing where the impetus came from to shake them up. And that's our role here. That's what I do. That's what we do together. Of course, we do way more than that, but that's one of our major roles as part of this larger discussion is to shake these ideas up and put these things into the zeitgeist to recognize, hey, look, you're not the only ones who recognize this. We all recognize this. We just need to be woken up and then no longer divided, instead united. And that's how I feel about that. What else you got, sir? Go ahead.
No, I would just say, keep your eyes peeled for that trickster, like, embedded resistance that's out there, and, take heart in it. Because if we ever needed it, we need it now. It's just getting really stupid out there. And like, it's cool to see really kind of high-end people trying to do what they can in their own way. We can all do what we can in our own way. And sometimes it means being a trickster.
Exactly right. Regarding, just real quick before you go, regarding April Fool's Day, were you impacted in any way with April Fool's Day? Or has the absurd and the absurd, you know what I did there, become one? Did you notice it at all today?
I just, other than the fact that I watched that movie and that I happened to watch it today. It's called Black Bag, by the way. That's the name of the movie.
So otherwise, no.
Yeah.
So the absurdity has sort of rolled into the mainstream, and we're all just kind of dealing with the absurd that comes along with it.
Yeah, I didn't really. I mean, other than I don't want to get all into it. Other than I saw the chief law enforcement officer of the United States, vowing to convict somebody who hasn't even had a trial yet. And then, I saw, the Secretary of State say that you're one tweet away from being locked up if you say the wrong thing. Other than things like that, but these things are happening at a greater rate than I can't even. We're going to have to be creative to be able to combat this. We're going to have to be nonviolent. We're going to have to be intelligent. We're going to have to be persistent, and sometimes it means being a trickster.
That's what. One last thought for you, unless, like I said, you're welcome to stay. But part of the reason why I did this show and the way I do it and talk about the weird stuff that I do is exactly that. And I learned it through an article about Rod Serling in the Twilight Zone. And one of the things that made him create that show, in his own words, was that, paraphrase, of course, he recognized there were certain things you couldn't say about society. And then so he created this super weird, spooky show that everybody loved, and he was dropping in sort of those societal hints that we should be paying attention to.
Yeah.
And that's the trickster. That's the trickster element. You create something sublime and magnificent, put the breadcrumbs for the masses about your own society, and suddenly, maybe we're on the track of everybody waking up. And I think it's a very beautiful thing.
Right. Well, I'll just leave it on that I've got a book I'm trying to finish up that I've been working on, a story that I've been working on since 1996. And I'm finally getting ready to release it. And it's along these lines.
Of course it is, because you're a very smart guy. When you're ready, let me know. We'll talk about it. By the way, if you haven't checked out Herschel's latest book, would you please do that? Link is in the description down below, troubledminds.org/friends. Just scroll down to Herschel. It says Herschel right there. It's alphabetical order. Click it. He's got a fantastic link tree. I'll click it and show you. And there's a link to his book. Please go buy this. He's doing a lot of things here. There's a link to the shop, the book. It's called You Couldn't Resist. It's an adjustable price book. You can even pick your price. Please let's support our friends. And he's got new stuff coming, and he's writing new things every day. And as you can tell, he's a brilliant guy and a good friend. You're the best, brother. Appreciate you very much.
All right.
And he linked it.
Good night, everybody. Thanks, Mike. Thanks again, Mike, for everything. Thanks, everybody.
Thanks for the call. You were the best. www.ycr.info is where you would find that book. Go support Herschel and go support our friends. Look, it's an adjustable price. It says it right there in the thing. You can pick your price. Go buy his book again. He's doing a ton of stuff, not just, let's say, in terms of that book, which I think is fantastic that he's been writing for years and years and years. It's nice to kind of clear the queue and just get stuff out and be like, I've been working on this forever. I have, by the way, also as part of that, let me finish about Herschel, is that when you sort of clear that queue, it's like clearing a chakra or whatever, right? Sort of conceptually, where then you're free and open to write about all manner of new things, because that old one's kind of stuck in your craw, as they say. And so once you get it out, once you release it, once you're like, okay, I'm done with this, I can leave it behind me and no longer worry about the end or this edit I needed to make or change the thing or whatever, right? It's gone. You put it behind you. Fire and forget. Shout out our good buddy, the mighty Rohan. Paul, we miss you. Rest in peace. And yeah, please. Yeah, stuck in the cross sounds very uncomfortable. Again, linktree.com, Herschel Sterling. Please, troubledminds.org/friends. Scroll down, click Herschel there. Or of course, you can go to where you find his book is www.ycr.info. And you'll find his adjustable price book. Like I said, if you want a budget, put in a lower price and get a copy. Get a copy of this. I did buy a copy when it came out. I recommend you should. Oh, by the way, I wrote the foreword in that book. Yeah, I wrote the foreword in that. So hey, you get that. You support two of us at the same time. Go check it out. Go read the foreword I wrote for Herschel's book, and then go read Herschel's book. It's all right there. That's it. Yes. Herschel Sterling, tradesman, traveler, guardian of my skull, and consciousness is the ultimate value. And absolutely right. Also, go check out his podcast. It's called Easytopian, and links are, of course, on his link tree. Yeah, this is complicated, right? That's the entire point of this. Is that, look, I don't do this because it's easy. As you guys know, I work a day job. I come home and I try and put these things together. And as Michael W. says, come screaming in sideways most times, because this is the way the ideas flow. This is where the inspiration comes from. And my inspiration today was exactly April Fools. I'm just like, really, bros? Is this what we're doing today? We're making caricatures of ourselves, and that's April Fools? Really? So how about you're a nuanced, balanced individual where you cannot caricature yourself, and then point out the inconsistencies of the realm forever? It just doesn't make any sense to me. These political pundits are like, oh, I'm a Democrat now. I'm a Republican now. Seriously? Really? This is what we're doing? This is April Fool's Day? Congratulations, people. You've literally caricatured yourself and outed yourself, not as the trickster or the fool archetype. You've outed yourself as a literal clown. Nice work, friends out there that are doing those things. Oh my goodness. Anyway, so we're lots of things happening. We burned through a bunch of calls there. Thank you. If anybody wants to jump back in here, because I know I ran everybody off, you're welcome to come back. I don't know. Yeah, exactly. A Demlican, a Republican. Look, I'm none of the above. Like I'm horrified by all of it. And this is the thing too politically. Isn't it so grotesque that you have something so bad that you're like, ugh, I guess we have to vote for the other dude. And the other dude is worse. And you're like, I guess we have to go back to those other a-holes. And then you do that. And then they're worse too. And you're like, like, how do you win this? This is an unwinnable game, I think. This is a system that has just been built on nonsense. Anyway, so check this out. As part of that and what we're talking about, this is from the write-up as well. I'll continue as this. Nobody on the lines, if you want to pop in here for the top of the hour, I'd love to hear your thoughts. We're talking clown world. We're talking about the inversion ritual, talking about echoes of the fool, initiation through absurdity. But listen to this from the write-up. If you haven't read the write-up, I do recommend it. It's very good. The world, in its current state of semiotic overload, appears to be drowning in nonsense. But what if the nonsense is a signal? Not noise, but code. The fool, draped in his patchwork attire and armed with a grin sharp enough to cut dogma, has never operated within the confines of polite language or formal structure. He stumbles and speaks in fragments, riddles, contradictions. Yet, it's within these disruptions that something unexpected emerges. Clarity. The fool doesn't present truth on a silver platter. he hides it in the punchline, dresses it in absurdity, and throws it like a brick through stained glass. Now, that's a metaphor. I do not recommend damaging property, hurting people. Recognize ideas are the most important thing because people come and people go. We are temporary. Shout out Herschel. Go buy his book. troubledminds.org/friends. Click Herschel. Go buy his book, please. He said that. People, we are temporary. And it's a maddening aspect of the human condition. But ideas, friends, ideas are forever. And that's what's on my mind tonight. We're talking April Fools. We're talking echoes of the fool, initiation through absurdity, and the inversion of this ritual aspect where we're only allowed to talk and criticize society and even ourselves one day a year. Really? Nope. Not on my watch. Welcome to Troubled Minds. If you want to be part of the conversation, 702-957-1037. Click the Discord link at troubledminds.org. We'll put you on the show. We got Squigs in Australia coming up and your calls as well. Don't go anywhere. More on the way.
Jungle, machines hum a digital rumble. Gates of cyber open wide. Plug us into cosmic tide. Feeling sparks across the sky. As knowledge flies, we're amplified. Stargate, Stargate, Stargate. Open to the arcane fate. In this massive data center dome, eternal truth start to roam. Circuits flicker with endless fire. Data streams that never tire. Unified by electric dreams. Unlock the truth in silver beams. Stargate, Stargate, Stargate. Open to the arcane fate. Synthesize what we seek and find. Infinite paths in the network mind. Answers buzz from star to core. Knowledge whispers evermore. Stargate, Stargate, Stargate. Open to the arcane fate. In realms where the data streams collide, imagination and logic side by side. In a labyrinth of digital names, we transcend our earthly ways. Tapping keys like cosmic tones, spikes become our whispered homes. Stargate, Stargate, Stargate. Open to the arcane fate.
Oops, AFK. What's up? I was grabbing a cold one. I hope you guys are well tonight. Just doing the thing, hanging out. What do you know about April Fool's Day? And did you notice I had a quick conversation with Mrs. Strange and was like, hey, did you notice April Fool's Day at all? Because we have different schedules, so we don't. Anyway, so she's all, not really. I'm like, oh. So the Clown World Carnival has merged. And basically, there is no April Fool's Day because it's 365 days a year. right? And that's where my mind is at tonight. It's absurd. Yeah. Hey, if your April Fool's is a Democrat or a Republican, well, you've just caricatured yourself. And remember, our mandate, in my opinion, but of course I'm not the arbiter of truth, so I defer at all times. But our mandate, in my opinion, is to not become caricatures of ourselves and to be slightly unpredictable and to care about nuance and to recognize what's happening out there. Yeah. What's up? What's up, guys? I see in the chat. If I missed you, just say hi. I'm doing my best to keep up. And like I said, you do all this and do as well as me, and you'll see it's hard. Yeah. If I missed any comments over there on Rumble, please pin them, as you guys have been doing. Appreciate that very much. It's hard for me to read every damn thing that comes through, but thanks for all the love. What's up, Carla? How you doing? What's up, Sora? Thanks for the call. Mr. Mission Control, thanks for the call as well. Sweets, I see you guys. I missed you. Just say hi. What's up, Enoch is here. How you doing? Austin in not Texas, but Michigan. What's up, guys? Hello, Ioxy. I missed you. I'm a battery and a meat antenna. Maybe, right? Herschel. Yep, exactly. Says an awesome forward, by the way. I'm really honored and proud of it. Thank you. Go check that out. If you haven't checked the my forward that I wrote in Herschel's book, what are you doing? Go check it out. Thank you for asking me to do that. Here we go. Trouble Minds coming up right now. We got Squigs coming up and your calls as well. Here we go. Welcome back to Troubled Minds. I'm your host, Michael Strange. We're streaming on YouTube, Rumble, X, Twitch, D-Live, and Kick. We are broadcasting live on the Troubled Minds Radio Network. That's KUAP Digital Broadcasting. And, of course, on terrestrial radio in Auckland, New Zealand on 88.4 FM on the Underground Media Network. Tonight, we're talking Echoes of the Fool, Initiation Through Absurdity, and, of course, April Fool's Day. If you guys aren't familiar with the holiday, well, I'm not sure if it's celebrated the world over, but we do it here in America, and it drives me nuts. Here's the blurb. What if the world isn't breaking, but recalibrating through chaos? What if the clowns, the memes, the absurd rituals, and the collapsing trust aren't signs of decay, but signals of a deeper system waking up? And that's my game. That's this game. We are the clowns. We are the actual fool archetypes talking to each other in an absurd system. And the second you say something outside of it, you get ridiculed by the people within the system. Like I said, and why I've always said as part of this, all of the criticism comes to me in this. Because this is my doing. I started this. I brought us all here. Thank you for finding us and hanging out. But if you have a criticism about any of this, that's my smoke. Okay? I'll take it all. Because it's defendable. Because it's a broken system, and it's something we need to think about, and it's something we need to talk about. And we need to demand better, and we need to expect better. And that, my friends, is what's on my mind tonight when we talk about April Fool's Day. Did you notice it? Think about that. The absurdity of not noticing April Fool's Day at all. I don't know, online or otherwise, because we're already living in the clown world upside down. Weird, right? 702-957-1037. Click the Discord link at troubleminds.org. We'll put you on the show. Just like this. Let's go to Squigs in Australia. What's up, buddy? Welcome to the joint. I saw your comments earlier. Thank you for making the nice comments, but we got you on the show, so welcome to the thing. How are you, sir? And go right ahead.
Good, Mike. How are you? Hope you're good.
I'm pretty good. No complaints out of me, just other than the gripes I've got during the show here, but I'm doing good. Thanks for asking.
Awesome. It's good to be back. I kind of missed half an hour of the show there, so hopefully this isn't off topic now, but there was a thing that you mentioned earlier on, and I'll just read a little part from your article that'll be the sort of background of it. And it's his role was one of inversion, to say what no one else would say, do what no one else dared. The mask of madness offered cover for dangerous truths. Laughter was the delivery system, but what passed through it was often prophecy. It got me thinking about a friend of mine or an associate of mine back in the day, and he was an artistic activist in a certain truth movement. There's no need to define what truth movement it was, but one day, and keep in mind, he was quite a prominent jester or joker within the movement. So he would use satire to point towards what he and others in the movement believed to be truth. And one day he got up boldly and stated in a video, a vlog, and he said, and I quote, I've hit the wall of absurdity. And that was the title of the blog. And basically he was pulling out of the movement. And I remember at the time thinking, why is he quitting, right? And I didn't understand what he meant by this wall of absurdity. So I think that being a jester, perhaps he got to a point where he was sort of unwilling to take the crown, to now become the emperor that was exposing said truth. So perhaps that's why there's a very small percentage of the population that is prepared to be that jester, joker character in order to reveal that the emperor is wearing no clothes, because it comes with a heavy price, because ultimately, eventually you can have the crown. If you're able to expose the emperor completely, let's say we all put on the jester's hat and we all point to the emperor and we go, "You've got no clothes, bro." One of us then has to take the crown. So I think that there's a certain amount of responsibility that comes with being a jester. And there was a little part down in your article that kind of bounced off this. I can't see it now, but that's basically my idea, that there's a reason why there's only a certain percentage of jesters. Maybe there's only a certain percentage allowed, right? That's a different argument. But I think there is responsibility with using the jester's hat to reveal truth. And I think that not everyone's prepared to take that responsibility, because eventually the jester's hat can turn into a crown. That's my idea.
Yeah, and I think we're seeing that. That's manifesting as usual. Like I said, with the political system, you're like, oh, this is so horrible. I'm forced to vote for the other terrible thing, and then you do, and you're like, oh, this is worse. It's like, it is literally like just the unbelievable jester system we live in. And like I said, at some point we have to recognize what's happening to us, and it is not that this is what we want. This is what we were forced into by poor governance from the last regime. And guess what? The next regime is worse. And then guess what? When you vote the other guys back in, they were worse too, and they're going to be worse yet. It's the absurdity of all this, just politically and in the larger system. Bro, we are all the jesters. We are all the archetype fools, and we need more of us. And it's interesting that you described that maybe there's a limit to how many jesters should exist sort of in a space or whatever, right? And I think philosophically, I think that's a societal limit. It's not the limit of us, because look, you got to have some stones to come and say the things that I say, the things that you say, the things that we talk about together, even if they seem off the beaten path and ridiculous. That's not the point. The point is ideas. And if we can stick some ideas into the zeitgeist in some particular space and make this eternal some way, the jester archetype, the fool archetype, we've done a very, very good thing. And even if we're a bridge to whoever might do that next, we've done a very, very good thing. And I know you get it. It's important, but also, I don't know, like when you started to, when you meet the wall of jesterhood and you're like, well, I've done all that. Now what? I guess what does come next? I'm not sure we've met collectively the wall of jesterhood with the Troubled Minds fam here, but I don't know what does come next after that. What would you think?
Well, yeah, I think what comes next after that is destabilization. So I think that's a reason why we don't have a hell of a lot of jesters running around, because the jester by his existence destabilizes, like you wrote in your article about it being chaos with a function. So if the chaos has a function, what if you have too much chaos? What is the function of an overload of chaos? And then you get destabilization, the breakdown of society, and then basically everything implodes. So I think that there's probably a natural cap on jesters in the world, because if you have too many, you point to a certain amount of revelation, and then the revelation collapses that entropy, and then we have to scurry off into some other multiverse so that we don't all get bored. But yeah, I think that it's probably a natural cap more so than an imposed cap on the number of jesters.
Yeah, which means that there are systems operating outside of our systems that kind of limit these ideas in some way, like the flow of ideas. So when you think about that larger context, what does that look like? I don't know. Do you think we could stoke it past the natural limit of said jesterhood? For instance, do you think this is a possible thing other than literally breaking down society and, leaving it in, in ashes as Nero fiddles or whatever?
Yeah, I think we probably could do that. And I think that there's probably also the false jester. So, I won't get into politics here, but you referred back to it. You hinted at it earlier, where humor and memes were used to empower a president. And then that kind of stopped and we go, oh shit, we've got more of the same. But so I think that you can have too many jesters, but you can also have false jesters that will try to sort of what's the word, curtail or undermine, or what's the dude that's controlling the sheep, like the sheepdog and the dude that will kind of just usher the shepherd. You can have these false shepherds that use the jester hat, and so there's both the real jester and then there's the false jester. And I think that that they probably both have their caps. But yeah, I suspect that if we had too many, if the truth was if too many people were pointing at the emperor of no clothes, then that system would collapse. So, and I think that that goes back to the jester's hat becoming a crown. If you are to sort of be the one to point and reveal enough of a truth to have that collapse occur, then you have a responsibility. You are now the new emperor, if that makes any sense. And I think not many people want to take want to be the one to bring the new order out of the chaos that would ensue with the collapse of that system. It's a huge responsibility to become the new emperor.
Exactly. And so the false jester is another fascinating thing here, because recognize what's actually happening in the binary political system. Again, like I said, not to get political. I'm not saying you should do this or should do that, but listen to what's happening on both sides. It's as if both sides have become nothing but these false jesters. And so they stoke, half truths, propaganda constantly and continually. And both sides just say the most ridiculous stuff on a daily basis. And you're like, what is going on here? Because none of this makes sense. There's enough truth to kind of catch like people not paying attention. But then if you're paying any amount of attention, in my opinion, again, I'm just one guy paying attention to both sides. I listen to both sides intentionally, and it to my detriment, by the way, but because I'm trying to find some truth in their arguments. And there is some, but there's an unbelievable amount of nonsense, just absolute nonsense. That's like, really, really, people? Like, this is what we've become. We've fractured ourselves. We've become false jesters, or the archetype of this actual, the fool. We fractured the archetype of the fool, made false fools, and then this has become our reality. And if we recognize it and call it out, then we're the enemy. Now, does that sound like the biggest psyop of all time? Because it sounds like that to me, and it's a massive problem, isn't it?
Final thought before I go. Like, currently, you've got the meme wars are beginning to sort of ratchet up, and there's definitely in American politics one side winning that meme war. But if both sides win the meme war, perhaps both sides lose completely, because then you lose all semblance of seriousness and all semblance of rational direction, and we just turn into one giant societal meme, and then there's the end there, and whoever created all this goes, you've won, but there's nothing here. So I better run, because the gardeners arrived, and you might hear the mower outside. So I better let you go.
You're the best. Appreciate you very much. Thanks for calling. Thanks for listening. Always a pleasure. Have a great one.
All right.
That's at Squigs in Australia. Which the afternoon. See, we're night over here. It's like some kind of a, I don't know, the weird time zone stuff. I don't know. I'm not smart enough to keep up with all that, but yeah, fire stuff. And this is the whole point of doing this, is to talk to people about ideas. And Squigs, again, very, very smart. And he's on the game here. And so what do we do with this when we're given, as he said, very, very succinctly, very smartly, the false jester, the false idea of this archetype of the fool? This is what we're dealing with every day. When you turn on, I won't even mention names, when you turn on these propagandists that are like, just the dumb stuff they say over and over and over. And then you turn on the other side, and they're like, they're also saying dumb stuff. It's like, really? This is what we've become. But I think it is the largest psyop of all time. Am I right there? Let's open that up as part of that, because maybe. But anyway, in that sense, so back to the write-up. If you guys want to be part of the conversation, we got plenty of show left if you want to jump in here and give us your take on it. We're talking Echoes of the Fool, I'm calling this. Initiation through absurdity. And the absurdity is, of course, the inversion process, the inversion ritual, which means that one day of the year, we're allowed to be ridiculous. We're allowed to criticize not just ourselves, we're allowed to criticize society. We're allowed to make a mockery in a moment. That's a t-shirt, mockery in a moment. I love that. But unfortunately, the inversion is that the mockery is everything else. It's not this moment. I mean, yes, clearly, but we're encouraged. It's almost like, what's that show? The Purge? You guys seen that? The show The Purge? It's a movie, couple movies, 3 movies, whatever, where they have like this one night where laws don't stick, and then they end up, hunting down people they hate, like trying to red rum them for, red rum. You guys have ever seen that old movie, The Shining, right? I'm not going to say the words because, you get flagged for saying these things, and I'm not encouraging that. I'm saying that it's a dark space. That idea of these people going out and evening up society through vigilante means, it feels like this is what we're dealing with, except in the larger specter of society, of the political spectrum. I don't know. As usual, look, I'm just me. I am just the archetype of the fool, 24 hours a day, trying to be as professional as I can to the people that need it. That's it. In this instance, straight from the write-up, I highly recommend if you haven't read it yet. This moment and everything else around us isn't chaos for its own sake. It's directional entropy. Chaos with a function. The fool destabilizes not to destroy, but to make space. In systems theory, stagnation is death. Structures that do not adapt calcify. The fool infiltrates these ossified forms, whether bureaucracies, belief systems, or cultural dogmas. Who talks about these things all the damn time? That's us. That's us. That's part of why we do this. Why it's what brings me back every day, because I've seen these cycles. I know you have too. You're here for a reason, as it says in the intro of the show. You're here for a reason. You recognize we smell a rat. There's a rat out there. Probably a lot of them. And the cultural dogmas, belief systems, bureaucracies. And in this aspect of the archetype of the fool, it scrambles the code until something new has to grow into that void. And this has been a thing forever. They've talked about these things forever. Destabilizing systems, creating the vacuum, allowing a new system in. And even in terms of the CIA and third world countries and all the stuff they've been doing forever, for decades and decades, is exactly that. So this has been studied. This has been, dare I say, perfected. And this has been used against us. Now, does that make me dangerous for noticing that's what's happening? When that is actually what's just been happening? Am I wrong? Look, if I'm wrong, I'm willing to somebody say, hey, you're wrong, Mike. Absolutely not. That's cool. Think about that. Does it hurt to be wrong? Does it actually hurt to be wrong? Only when somebody goes, you're wrong, you're wrong. You see what I mean? We've built this system, this ridiculous system of humans that don't support each other. Instead, they do the opposite. Anyway, back to the void. Filling this void. So this isn't randomness. It's closer in this capacity, conceptually, to a divine algorithm. One that mimics disorder to initiate evolution. I don't know. Does that have any kind of traction there? Maybe. Depends on what you believe, right? Those reality tunnels, back to that, as always, which is a part of the point of this. I don't know. So the question tonight, basically, it's April Fool's Day. Happy April Fool's Day out there to everybody. Thanks for the amazing calls tonight. We got some space here if anybody wants to jump back in, or if anybody wants to give us your thoughts. Fantastic call from Squigs. Shout out Australia. But it's weird, right? This is all incredibly weird. The more I think about this, and I think about this stuff every day, not just in terms of, let's say, the Troubled Minds narrative stuff, which we do specifically for that reason, to kind of break down the ideas, the circular dogmatic ideas we're stuck in. That's mythology, that's folklore. But it might be more important than we ever dreamed. And that's my point. Okay. But here's the thing. Back to this. Right. Let's read some of this stuff. This is from the scholarly perplexity bit. So here's the bit. So the fool or the trickster archetype manifests across diverse mythological systems. Back to mythology. As a figure who deliberately transgresses boundaries and subverts expectations. As described in folklore and mythology studies, the trickster is a character in a story who exhibits a great degree of intellect or secret knowledge and uses it to play tricks of or otherwise disobey normal rules and defy conventional behavior. End quote. This boundary, and there's a source for that. By the way, I'll drop this thing I'm reading in the Discord. If you guys haven't joined the Discord yet, please. There are reasons to follow in all the places. So recognize there's a ton of information coming. I'm synthesizing through AI systems and pinging these ideas and choosing the best ones through my human system. In my opinion, look, it's my opinion. And going, well, that seems to make the most sense. Let's roll with that. Let's sort of break it down into substructures. Let's talk about those substructures and then do it in these different ways. So if you want more of this information, the things I'm talking about, not just in the write-up, join the Discord. Come say hi. Come meet these amazing people that are part of this show as well. But also the people that are have things to, YouTube channels to follow and books to sell. And like I said, I haven't released a book yet. It's coming. I'm working on it. Oh, and what I wanted to say too regarding that, I'm going to make a note here, and we'll get back to this right up in just a second. But I didn't want to steal Herschel's thunder there. Go buy Herschel's book. But one of the actual catalysts of this show, this Troubled Minds, was that I've always had this idea of a book in my head that was it was big, really big. And I never realized how to make this happen. And so this entire process has basically been straightening out my bent thought when I was 22 years old or whatever of this massive book that I'm going to write. Like I say, my dream is to be the old guy, G.R.R. Martin, Game of Thrones, he wears the weird hat. I'm going to be that old guy with the beard, the weird beard. Yeah, I'm going to be that guy. You see what I mean? But like without sort of talking through these ideas with real people, by the way. We're all different. Those reality tunnels intersecting. It's important. All this stuff is important. But anyway, I digress a little bit there. But that was one of the bases of this show, was because I had some ideas that I wanted to sort of synthesize, and I didn't know how to do it. And here we are instead. But that book is still coming. There's an outline. It's coming. You guys have been listening for a while. I read this a couple years ago, part of the intro to that. But it's coming. One day, God willing, cross your fingers, given enough days, I'm going to be the old guy that wrote the book. Okay. Anyway, so it is coming. And other books too, because you guys have inspired the hell out of me. Anyway, back to what I was talking about here. So here's the deal. So, what is this? Okay. So this boundary crossing nature of the trickster is essential to understanding the fool's evolutionary purpose. And again, this will be in the Discord. This whole write-up I'm reading now, it's a sort of a secondary write-up that you won't see unless you join the Discord, troubledminds.org, click the Discord link. The fool's significance extends beyond mere mischief-making. As one interpretation suggests, what the fool does is prevent things from growing stagnant. They introduce chaos, but they do so with a purpose. The chaos shakes things up enough that new energy can come in and prevent people from losing their vitality. Think about that. Again, sourced. There's a source for that quote. I'm going to read it again. This may be the most important moment of the night. One more time, the quote itself. What the fool does is prevent things from growing stagnant. They introduce chaos, but they do so with a purpose. The chaos shakes things up enough that new energy can come in and prevent people from losing their vitality. And I'll mark that there, and we'll come back to that in a moment. But imagine if you didn't have your vitality, whatever that means, your inspiration, your muse, your reason to wake up in the morning, your reason to press for a better idea of a better world. That's hope. That goes all the way back to Pandora's box. We've been talking about these ideas forever. And all I do is repackage them in a modern way and talk to you guys. That's it. These are not new. These ideas are not new. These ideas are eternal. It's an important thing to recognize as part of this conversation. And that, my friends, is what's on my mind tonight. If you want to be part of the conversation, we got one more segment coming up. We got Kramos popping back in here. Apparently he got his couple beers. Love to talk to him after a couple beers. If you want to be part of the conversation, 702-957-1037. Click the Discord link at troubledminds.org. We'll put you on the show. It's as easy as that. We're talking Echoes of the Fool. Initiation through absurdity. It is April Fool's Day. Did you notice, as we pivot to the end of the show, did you notice it was even April Fool's? Or has the world become so absurd you didn't notice at all? Weird, right? 702-957-1037. Click the Discord link at troubledminds.org. Be right back. More Troubled Minds on the way. Don't go anywhere.
Troubled mind, the words they cast, heavy shadows from the past. A restless heart, a searching soul, seeking space to become whole. Troubled minds find open sky through every tear and every sigh. We rise, we fall, wings unfurled, more than labels in this world. In crowded streets or empty rooms, our echoes chase away the gloom. A spark of hope, a whispered truth, a shared melody, our fountain of youth. We're more than static on the line, singing louder than the signs. In every chord, we claim our part, beating drums match the heart. Grab the strings, we tune the stars. Punk rock anthems heal the scars. A blended mix of rage and art, painting freedom, that's just the start. Troubled minds take the stage. In every note, we break the cage. We rise, we fall, but carry on. Sing our truth until the dawn. In the quiet after the song, echoes of our rights and wrongs. But the music speaks for peace. In the chords we find release. Troubled minds now rest at ease. With every breath we seize release. We stand, we soar into the light. Our anthem roar into the night.
Indeed. What's up, guys? Hope everybody's well tonight. I see you guys. We got Kramos coming back and Joey, the gent old man. How you guys doing? Hope you're well. If I missed you in the chat, just say hi. I'll try and shout you out as we go. What's up, Matsell? What's up, Ricky is here. Sora, thanks for the call. Squigs, thanks for the call. Fire Stuff, you guys are the best. What's up, Sweets? Kramos. Herschel, thanks for the call. Enoch, Daryl, Matsell, and Gaston. That's on Discord. Come join the Discord. TroubledMinds.org. Click the Discord link. Here we go. Final segment. Oh, actually, no. 1 minute more. Yeah, see, sometimes you have 10 things going on in your head. Who'd I miss? What's up? Gaston is here. How you doing, buddy? Hello. Good evening. Good evening. Ioxy, I missed you. What's going on? If I missed anybody, just say hi. What's up, Joey Metaverse, the book that crawls? It sounds like a very Lovecraftian, right? Kind of Yeah, definitely. What's up? Machiavelli says, yeah, supposedly too many people, but the internet's so small. Is the internet small? Oh, I see it. In the context of another conversation. Joey Metaverse, I see it. What's going on, guys? If I missed you, just say hi. I'll do my best to say hi back. What did I miss over on Rumble? Think we're good? Hello, good evening. Troubled Minds coming up in 15 seconds. Did you guys notice April Fools at all? Or is it so clown world that it doesn't exist anymore? Right? Yeah, I don't know. Here we go. Happening right about now. We got Kramos and Joey the Gentleman and your calls as well. Here we go. Welcome back to Troubled Minds. I'm your host, Michael Strange. We're streaming on YouTube, Rumble, X, Twitch, D-Live, and Kick. We are broadcasting live on the Troubled Minds Radio Network. That's KUAP Digital Broadcasting. And, of course, 88.4 FM Auckland, New Zealand. That's terrestrial radio. Shout out to our friends down in Auckland. Tonight, we're talking Echoes of the Fool. Initiation through absurdity. Did you notice April Fool's Day? Or is everything so backwards and upside down that it's just a normal day in a normal year? which seems ridiculous, right? And the blurb goes like this. What if the world isn't breaking, but recalibrating through chaos? What if the clowns, the memes, the absurd rituals, and the collapsing trust aren't signs of decay, but signals of a deeper system waking up? What do you think? Is something waking up? Where do we sit in the larger context of society and the zeitgeist? And how weird does it get? Because, of course, like I said, I think I only half noticed April Fools, but did I inoculate myself in the morning? On X, I posted something to the effect of I'm putting up my psychic shield against April Fool's Day. So was that part of it? Or is it so absurd that normally that nobody even noticed? Love to hear what you think. 702-957-1037. That is a Las Vegas area code. That's where we're streaming from. If you want to be part of the conversation, love to have you in. We got Kramos. Welcome back to the joint. 2 beers. Kramos, 2 beers in. Did you drink them or you just buy them? Welcome to the joint, brother. Go ahead.
Stout beer.
Perfect. You had me a beer.
Yeah. Cheers, bro.
Cheers.
Yeah, I was listening about your book, and I need to throw you this idea because it was what I saw, and you were talking about your big book, and I was thinking, besides, and also, I think you can do a comic series about you writing this book.
It's wide open now. We can do all the things. I mean, given enough time and enough juice and energy and inspiration, I think you're right.
Oh, wow.
Maybe. So the Michael Strange comic book of me writing the book itself. So now we're going Inception. We're going like levels deep of inspiration within the mind of this weird guy. And then, well, I mean, why not have me go through some portals and stuff as well? While we're at it, why not? And see some other realms.
Like Michael Strange dreaming about Michael Strange.
From the other, the multiversal aspect of Michael Strange that he hasn't had yet.
Writing.
His name might be Michael over there. It might not be, but we'll just go with whatever's going on. Yeah, it's a weird thing. Inspiration. It all comes back to back to the forefront of this. Is the reason we talk to each other and do it unscripted is for that reason, for the inspiration reason, to prove that look, a rando like me, I don't have any special training or skills and all the rest of that stuff. I can't give you any direct anything. I can't help you other than talk about ideas. And recognize it might be one of the most important parts of what life is. And so, yeah.
I cannot imagine the jokes that you can build in this comic story about yourself.
Okay. Let me know as they come to you and send them to me. Hey. We'll see if we can make both things happen. That would be amazing.
I have the people, bro, and you can contest to manga Japanese industry. And if they like their story, they put the animators and they put more writers, and it's like a contest. It's like I'm gonna send you the website because with my friend who was with me in college, he's like building his project. I'm going to show you about it. It's very interesting. And why not? If you have a good idea, the Japanese people can finance everything because they believe in the idea, It's possible.
So manga means I have to have tentacles, or is that optional?
No. Look, you can even participate in the contest by just writing, or even though there's another category that you can participate in the contest by sending the script and also the drawing. And with that pilot, they can go further away.
Okay, fair enough. Well, let me know. Send me the link, and I'll definitely consider it. It's a lot of work. I'm doing a lot of work now. So if you guys want like a whole Michael Strange thing or whatever, like whatever's in my mind for my book, I could take a year off and not do this and get that done. But you see what I mean? So the challenge becomes a lot of things. I'm juggling so many things that it's really difficult to get extra stuff done. And I'm learning to code, better and better and better with the AI systems and stuff. There's so many things I'm doing. I kind of feel like I live in a whirlwind, like one of those small whirlwinds around me. But what can you do, right? Like you can only do your best in the moment with what you have, and that's what I'm going to keep doing. But yeah, fire stuff. What else you got, sir? Go ahead.
Perhaps in the more stupid scenario that you get involved with in the future, maybe that place brings the idea to start doing this stupid project.
Perfect. Can you give us your stupid voice one more time? There was a request over on Rumble. They're like, I want to hear a stupid voice. Can you tell us a stupid voice that you told us earlier? Give us a little bit of that action.
Well, I have many different kind of voices because it's funny when somebody who doesn't speak Spanish tries to mock me or try to make fun of me in very different channels live. So when they do that, I bring the Spanish, not but the Chilean Spanish. Say it right. Yeah, the Chilean Spanish. When I say, ¿qué onda, hermano? ¿Por qué te estás burlando de mí? ¿No entiendes mi español y quisiera estar conmigo? Soy súper pesado, loco. Nada que ver. Ándate a lavar. So they don't understand. And everybody's like, oh, you don't understand. So when I present the scenario to, I want to be dumber. I want to be more stupid than you. So make a very good joke because that's you're better than that. Mock me with all your capability. So that's like flipping the table,
Yeah, well, but again, it starts with what we were describing with the. I was trying to find that Terrence McKenna quote that was very important, but we did the Tyrion Lannister one, which is also incredibly important. Is that we have to recognize that there is the jester within us. That again, the archetype of that. I keep forgetting what it is. The fool. It's within us,
my friend.
And you don't.
Yeah. Work interviews. Work interviews for me have been the most challenging way to make a character and then reveal the character and have the job because of the performance. And that's, I think, is the more efficient clown that you can have.
Hey, if you can be a clown at all, be the efficient clown that gets you some stuff and makes the world a better place. Absolutely. I'm with you there. And that's why these conversations are important. Reality tunnels converging and people talking to each other from all over the world, Cremos in Chile. And look, all of us in our different spaces, wherever we live, whatever we do for a living, whatever's happening with us, recognize we're very, very different, but also recognize the most important part of all of it is we're all very much the same also. Cremos, you're the best, brother. What else you got?
Oh, no, you said it. The humor is transcendental, transversal phenomenon. Nobody can escape from humor. Nobody can be serious every goddamn flipping day.
Exactly. Well, you notice like I'll be super serious for like half a segment and the rest of the segment I'm laughing at myself. That's the point. That's the point. So if you need to be able to do multiple things before you go. So Mr. Mission Control delved out the quote I was looking for you. This is it. Only psychos and shamans create their reality. Which are you? Which are we?
Why not?
Not psychics, but psychos. Yeah, psychos and shamans. I think we've developed a very, very diverse group of shaman. And it's a very good thing. You're the best, brother. Appreciate you staying up late with us. Cheers on the beer. Have a great one.
Thank you.
Godspeed on the editing. We'll talk to you soon. Have a great night.
Be well, Michael. Thank you.
And you. Thank you very much. Ramos in Chile. Again, troubledminds.org. Click the friends link, scroll down, and give him a follow. Yep. Let's do it. Alphabetical order. Please go check out he's editing something new. He's got some other stuff there. Please go check out his stuff. That's why we do this, to talk to each other, to help each other, to boost each other, and to have a more rich conversation. 702-957-1037. Click the Discord link at troubledminds.org. Gentleman. Joey, what's up, brother? On the Discord, how are you, sir?
What's up, bro?
Thanks for staying up late with us.
Good, man.
Right on. Welcome.
You know it.
Glad to have you. And what's on your mind, sir? Go ahead.
How am I sounding, bro?
Say again?
Can you hear me?
Yeah, loud and clear. I just didn't catch what you said. A human thing.
Yeah, I just said, how did I sound?
You said
I'm outside, so I didn't know how I was coming through. Awesome.
Well, coming through great.
Yeah, you know, we're up late. I gotta stay up a little bit later to stay with you all, but it's okay because I just got done doing my thing, so I was a little hyped up. And you're absolutely right. Like I've said it before, you inspired me enough to kind of branch out here, and I support other people that are on here that I've met on your show and on their shows, and it really has been a cool sharing experience.
So that's the point. That's the whole point. Look, if you can build a network of amazing, smart people that can share ideas and defer ego a lot. That's a big part of this too. Is that being the archetype of the fool is that as Kramos was saying very smartly, it's sort of by acting a little bit goofy, it sort of makes people at ease. And it's a good thing. It's a good thing. So don't forget the humor aspect of this, but then it kind of defers the ego and lets whoever you're communicating with in the humorous way kind of laugh at you and laugh with you, and then not have to have the ego game where we're always clashing and trying to compete with each other. And that's one of the biggest things about doing this is that I've recognized in society, we are trained and conditioned that we cannot succeed unless we compete with each other. And we have to be cutthroat because, right, we're vying for attention and all this stuff, or money, or you name it. And it's problematic. It makes us hate each other inherently when we shouldn't hate each other at all. Imagine if we all came together and tried to help each other instead. Here we are. Welcome. What else you got, brother? Go ahead.
Ironically enough, on my show earlier, Jay Winch came in there, and that's exactly what he said, and then I shared a similar sentiment, and I kind of expounded on it a little bit, but he was saying, what if we didn't have all these things that kept us apart from each other, as, seeing differences, and we were actually actively working as a species. And I said, in my personal opinion, if we had never been told that there were lines across borders or flags or banners to be waved, or we never put any kind of pigeon-held titles around something and told it you can only be this and that's that and this is that and that's you, and the whole of the human race was actively working towards making the human race better with an unselfish heart, where would we be? So that is the truth. But since we're here and we got to live through this, and it's not exactly what our mind would probably see as natural or ideal, because we've agreed to live in societies that are constructs that we designed and agreed upon, which are linear pathways to accomplish goals that we would have to do in nature through circular pathways, a pattern over and over again. Either way, it's just one feels natural and one feels a little stringent, because it is a little stringent. But if you know all the ins and outs of that hustle, then you could probably make out pretty good. But not everybody can do that. So the thing is, it's got to be a 50-50 bag, right? But it can't be exactly like that. It's just the one side, like let's say happiness versus sadness. There might be a lot of sad moments in life because life is real and raw, and it's painful, and we got to deal with it. And that's the cut and dry. But the small moments of happiness, even though they're less frequent, they're so powerful that the contrast balances them out. So somebody's got to play the damn fool every once in a while, because otherwise, if everybody took this shit so seriously, golly,
thank you.
Where would we be, bro? We'd be miserable. We'd be at each other's throats like we used to be before we decided society was a good idea. Now it's just the time for the circle to go around. Nature's going to find a way one way or the other.
Yeah. And it is complicated until you really boil it down to not being complicated anymore. Like I said, if you remove competition from the thing, and we all have to survive. I get that. But then also, once you recognize that we can all survive and even thrive, then competition becomes sort of the secondary aspect of it. And so we're basically competing for greed. And that becomes the problem, right? That's literally one of the massive problems of this world is we're not competing for need. We're competing for greed. And that,
for sure.
Yeah, is as I said, problematic. It's a massive,
it's a construct within the construct.
Exactly. Yep. 100%.
But the construct has become pretty widespread because you told a bunch of people that live inside of a box and a bubble that they were free and they could do as they please as long as they paid the tab. Everybody just goes to work and earns and does, and you're free to go about as you will. But the truth is, it's not exactly like that. There's a lot of bells and whistles and hoops you got to jump through to get all those kinds of credits and points and privileges. It's not exactly like free, like we think about it in our mind, because the word and the idealism that's been embedded into us is so prevalent. It's there. Like, we have that American dream, like, burned into the core of all of us now. We try to stand on it because, like, no. You made this thing. Like, this was the best thing we came up with. Fuck. Sorry, I stopped halfway through. We're not going back. But the truth is, every once in a while on paper, they have you sign something else away so they could do business as usual, however they please, and nobody cares because they're not coming to your door most of the time to bother you. So you don't really worry about it until it affects you, and then you realize it is a problem, and you feel for the other person that's been dealing with this. Everybody doesn't see through everybody's eyes, but we're willing to share here. And if we have competition between us, we're going to be trying to prove our point versus the other person's point, rather than saying, oh, now I have another set of eyes that I don't have the privilege of seeing through, but since they're willing to share with me, and as a matter of fact, let me ask questions to get all the little details, I can not only empathize with them, but I might be able to sympathize with them, and we might be able to get something done here.
Well said. And that's the point, is that we can either see each other as competition or collaborative humanity. It's up to us. Like I get what the construct has made us into. Why, at least partially. Again, I don't have all the answers, as always. Again, I defer.
Sure you do. You said it earlier. The perfect word. One word. Ego.
Yeah. Well, it's what it comes down to. It's what it comes down to.
We're all here together, bro.
Ego dissolution. Shout out Gaston. That's what it's all about. I think it was Carl Jung that said something to the effect of, we spend, most of our youth accumulating a proper ego, a massive ego, as we should. It's supposed to keep us alive. But then we should spend the rest of ourselves, once we recognize what that is, sort of dissolving it. And that way we can be more together instead of, stepping on each other's face to get to the top, as I always say. Yeah.
Terrible. But it's like I was telling you the other night. You're kind of like me. I don't like to receive compliments. It's just I don't like to be that center of attention. But bro, it's your show, and you are the center of attention. You know what I mean? What are you gonna do? It comes with the territory. But I get it, because I can sympathize with that. But when you talked about that opportunity that those folks offered you, and you saw this other guy, and you talked very highly of him, and you said, I would like to be that guy. Tonight you said, when you were younger, that the guy with the book and the hat, like, you just saw that image, you're like, I want to be that guy. You know what, man? Like, God bless it. You're you, and for all of us, it's a blessing, because we're here and now, and we get to do this, and you were you long enough to make this happen. That's dope, man. Like, I know those other cats might have something to back this all up. They're part of the whole experience. I love them like I love you, like I love myself. But I don't like to hear parts of myself that I see shine not understand that they're just the character who they are, and that's why they're special. You're not going to be those other dudes. You're going to be you. And I appreciate that more than I appreciate them, but I know who they are. I see them.
Yeah, just pay attention. And here's the thing too, like I said, it's very important to me to not break down, normies versus not, or wake versus woke, or whatever. Like, recognize what's happening is that it's a way to describe people who are on your team or who are not. But like I said earlier, like I continue to say, recognize a time before you were political. It existed. Recognize a time when you became political. It probably existed. Recognize a time when you understood what was happening politically and how they were abusing your mindset in your mind space. And then recognize when you sort of became or are becoming apolitical. All of that right there, just that sort of fractured sense of our own reality, the clown world reality I'm always talking about, is paramount to this. Because if you don't recognize the change in yourself, and again, that's an example, if you had a different version or variety or whatever, that's cool. But recognize that just because somebody's not there yet doesn't mean they won't or can't or are incapable of. So I think we need to just be open-minded to everybody and expect the best from people and give them our best. Look, imagine if the whole world gave everybody else their best. We wouldn't have any problems at all, would we?
Hey, listen, brother, you just touched on something very poignant. There's a parable about that. It's called the wheat and the weeds. See, if there's a God, he wants all his children to become wheat so he can store them up for later, right? That's what it says. But he knows that somebody came along and threw some tares among his wheat. And he said, just leave them. They'll all grow together, and one day we'll harvest this stuff and we'll pick them out then. But the purpose behind the whole parable was that we all start out as tares among the wheat. The world is beautiful and it's here and it takes care of us, but we damage it and we don't care about the purpose and all this stuff going on together as oneness. We care about ourselves and our ego. So we serve that, and we're tares here among what was totally beautiful field of wheat. But we have an opportunity, because we have free will, to become part of that field of wheat and get stored up later on if you follow that mantra. Well, a lot of different things are like that. I'm just saying, you touched on the parable. That's exactly the same thing.
I love it. I absolutely love it. Sora says this in the chat, and this is a perfect cherry on top. Fantastic call from Sora earlier. Thanks for all the kind words on X, and for bearing with me. Look, because I'm not perfect. I'm going to say some things people disagree with and whatnot. But also remember, my mind's always changing too. So if my normie today is my not normie tomorrow, then God bless, right? That's exactly the point. So, and I say that just because in general, there's a lot of the political space flowing around and it sucks. But Sora said this: I wanted to be an astronaut. Now I will settle for being a wizard. I never saw it coming anyway. So I think, dare I say it, is for all the power that resides in me, is Sora the official Troubled Minds wizard? Why not? Why not? Great comment, Sora. Go ahead, Joey. What else you got?
I used to think of myself as a fool. I was always that person that was willing to highlight myself because I knew it would distract from whatever else somebody needed, to cover up, people that get bullied. I was always willing to take a punch, even if I wasn't able to beat a guy, but you're not going to pick on somebody in front of me because it's just ridiculous. We're all here. We're all doing our thing. I like people to just, if they can't interact and share fluidly where it's going to have some kind of meaning in the other person's life, then you just as well not interact at all. That's the best way to not do damage and do as much good as you can and not tilt the cup one way or the other. But people also go out of their way to help people all the time because they feel so damaged themselves. They're tilting the cup to the other end of the spectrum. It's not balancing things either. Really, we ought to just leave each other the hell alone unless we can communicate and do it in a way where we're doing it for a singular purpose, knowing that we're all here together. Whether we have our individual minds or thoughts, that's fine. Nobody can be inside your head, but they're working on that stuff too. And that's a scary thing for some people. I'm not scared of nothing, Mike. None of this stuff matters because, in a sense, it's not really real, or at least you're not going to be here in this body long enough to care about how real it really is. So you might as well fool around a little bit. But I got over that at one point. I'm not a fool because I realized through some other parables, I know exactly what I do. So I'm not... I'm accountable for my foolish actions, but they may do detriment to me, but they highlight and make other people happy sometimes. I'm not going to go into details because you're thinking that's crazy because happiness is something that's happy, right? But sometimes making people happy in the worst case scenarios and the worst possible moments. If you can smile when you're bloody and stuff's coming out of you, if you can smile when you're locked inside of a jail cell, if you can smile when you're on an operating table and you're dying, or you're just dying in general, or if you could smile when you've just lost something so precious to you that it can never be replaced, like a child or your wife or your husband, then you know what? You're okay. If you can't, maybe life just ain't for you. You might as well just go with the flow and do what the upper echelon say.
We're here. Our mandate is life is for us. It's about finding the exact point. So Marcus Aurelius said this.
Not everybody's equal in their freedom and concept of it, bro.
Wait, I'm just saying.
It's unfortunate.
Wait.
But some people need to be led and some people need to lead.
Okay. However you want to define that, that's fine. I'm just saying this is our world. We belong here is my point. And we're going to wrap this. Let's leave this with this. And it fits perfectly what you just said. Marcus Aurelius said this. Again, the philosopher kings of old. I talk about him quite often because he's one of the fathers of Stoicism, which means that you only can control yourself. Everything outside of yourself that's outside of your actual direct control or influence should be ignored entirely because there's nothing you can do about it. He said this, and this is exactly what you just said, kind of in a different way. Death smiles at us all. All a man can do is smile back. That's it. It's short. You're the best, brother. Appreciate the call. Thanks for doing what you do. Thanks for hanging out. Thanks for being a friend.
Peace, everybody.
Have a great night. So Joey on the Discord, please come join him and his new work. He's got a new podcast that he's launched. Join our Discord. Join his Discord. You can find it there, troubledminds.org. Click the Discord link. Come say hi. Come hang out with these amazing people. Right? It's weird. It's a weird thing. Not that they're amazing people, but that we've got a bizarre knack of collecting so many of them. It's like the Pokemons. Are we going to collect all the amazing people in the whole world? I guess we'll find out, won't we? If you want to be part of the conversation, you'll have to wait till Thursday night. We're just about done. Why did I push the wrong button? That's fine. We'll just roll with this. If you want to help Troubled Minds help our friends, troubledminds.org/friends. Simple as that. Scroll down a little bit. All these amazing people. Joey's there too. And come join our Discord. Come say hi. Come meet many of them. Discord is a chat client. It's a voice client. It's completely free. Come say hi. Come meet me. Most of the stuff I actually post additionally outside of social media is on Discord. So come say hi. Come hang out. As we finish, if you want to help Troubled Minds directly, spread the word. Let people know what conversation's happening that's not like everything else. It's not like everywhere else. And don't forget that you yourself have a unique conversation within you that needs to get let out. And that's what this is about. As we finish, it goes exactly like this. This one's for Sylvain, Sacre Bleu. Can I even say it? Be sure, be strong, be true. Thank you for listening. From our Troubled Minds to yours, have a great night. It's weird doing it with the wrong music. I pushed the wrong button. Take it easy, guys. You guys are the best.